That's what I really enjoy it. And I like wraps a lot more than I like bread. I just like wraps a whole lot more. They're lighter, and it's good for in the morning. Just something quick and easy, get you going. You gotta love it. Gotta love it. We got some sports to get to today, obviously. College, professional.
Yeah.
We've got probably the biggest sport starting up today now. I know Terry's so ready for the XFL kickoff
I'm probably
today,
going to
Tom.
check out.
It's today,
He's
isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
2
So they're going to
o'clock.
play on Saturdays, not Sundays.
No, both.
Okay.
They have two
One
games.
game a day.
One
Two
game a
games.
day. Okay.
2 games.
Oh, 2 games. Well,
2
that's
o'clock, 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock on Saturdays and Sundays. 2 o'clock game today will be on ABC. 5 o'clock game will be on Fox tomorrow. 2 o'clock game on Fox. 5 o'clock game on ESPN. So they got actually some good television networks that alongside of them for TV sponsorships and TV deals. So I mean, you're gonna be able to watch it. You don't have to download an app or anything to watch it.
That'll be in the last segment of our show.
Well, I don't know about that one, Terry.
We may get to that one a little earlier, Terry.
Well, let's don't.
Terry, what time you got to leave today?
Well, that's not the point. Let's just say that'll be the last part of our show.
Oh, okay. I hear you, Terry, but we're going to start with the XFL because me and Hunter's had that on the list all week, haven't we?
Well, I'm going to go in there and help JP
We're going
out
to
a
go
while
help JP.
with Star Wars.
I tell you what, JP might show up whenever he wants, but at least he looks good today in his KTC broadcasting hoodie. Good morning, JP. Your biscuit has been hidden, if you were wondering.
It was in there right beside you.
Listen. At
It was.
8 o'clock, that biscuit's up for, anybody. Just
We
letting
auctioned
you know.
it off.
It was auctioned off. The ghost down the hall got it. Milton says there's a ghost here. He said he called his name yesterday, actually. Down the hall. Hunter, have you heard it yet since you've been in here?
Nope.
Have you seen the ghost?
Nope.
Well,
Yeah,
not
there's
at all.
all kind of people that move across that hallway.
there he
There
is.
he
That's
is.
true. You're exactly right, Terry. People, not ghosts. you 100% nailed that. We've got all kinds of fun things to talk about this week. I want to welcome all of our viewers on Facebook, just now getting up and going this morning. That want and just make sure you share this with your friends and everybody. And we're live on Facebook. We record it here. You can rewatch it on Facebook or on KTC broadcasting page. And you can also listen on our 2 stations, like we just said. Had some basketball last night in the area, high school basketball. We'll have some standings on that in here in just a little bit. We've got XFL to talk about. Hunter's pumped about watching some football today. We'll talk about the teams, the colors, the names in just a few moments. We've got NBA trade deadline. Is that right? Big trades. No trades for the Hornets, although they did make a move late last night. Did you see? Hornets releasing or buying out Marvin Williams.
Well, took him long enough.
It's about time.
Well, let's start there, Hunter. Since that's a local kind of a breaking news thing. We haven't talked about it on our sports talk or on our podcast this week. So the Hornets are buying out Marvin Williams. The rumors are that he is in talks with the Milwaukee Bucks. How you feel about that?
Well, for a guy this late in his career, the only conversations I would be having is with contenders, or else I'm going to start mulling retirement. I mean, what is he, in his late 30s? 35, maybe 30.
I just
37.
saw it this morning, and I totally forgot how old he said he was.
And that's kind of like how Andre Iguodala played it with Memphis.
I'll
He didn't even play the whole time he was in Memphis because he said I wanted to be with a contender.
How you feel about that?
He came out towards the end of last year and said my career is almost career. The only conversations I would be having is with contenders. I understand why they traded for him, but they gave him a contract extension. Knowing good and well he said his career is almost over. So I don't even know if he makes it through that
I
contract.
just saw it this morning, and I totally forgot how old he said
if
he
I'm
was.
Marvin Williams, kind of like how Andre Iguodala played it with Memphis. I'm talking with anything. He didn't even play the whole time he was in Memphis. He'll play he said I wanted to be with a his offensive game. Came out towards the end of last year and said this late, but he'll go out there and play strong defense. These are some reasons Miami decided to. I understand why they traded for him, but they gave him a contract extension. No, got a long late 6'9" long. I don't buy him. He's pretty physical.
I just saw it this morning.
He's got kind of an
and I
old
totally
so
forgot how old he
if
said
I'm
he was.
Marvin Williams, kind of like how absolutely guys all in the league with. So yeah, I'm talking with Andy. That's a great look in Milwaukee. He'll play decent defense when the LA came out at him towards the end of last year and tried out, but he'll go out there and play strong defense. These are really trying to decide to I understand when they traded for him, but they gave him a contract. So no guy long maybe 5, maybe 30. So Marcus Gasol 30 and got kind of an old. If I'm like that, it's kind of like absolutely guys all in the league. That's kind of like how I feel. Yes, he'll play decent. Maybe right. Came out at him towards the end of last year and tried out, but he'll go out there and play. I was like, man, he seems a whole lot older than that, but yeah, forget that they can come in at 18 years old.
Sorry for the folks online. Had a double feedback loop for those of you listening. Thanks for joining us on Facebook. Again, you can watch live on Saturdays. Watch the replays. As always, 39% from spot up threes is a scouting report. Reliable defense, not great defense. And let's see. Kimba had a reaction to the Bucks. I'll check that out in just a second. See what he says. Oh, he said he's going to Milwaukee. He said he's going to call Williams right now. No, he said he's going to Milwaukee. Yeah, he's going to call him right now. So maybe he can try to talk him out of it.
Going to
and come to Boston, Terry. Would you like to see Marvin Williams in the Celtics uniform?
Not really. I'm just being honest.
Well, that's what you're supposed to
You've
be.
already got so many wins.
Well, as you've been lying to us the whole time, Terry. He says
no.
You know what? I'm just being honest.
Does it all the time.
Does it all the time, don't
all the time. Well, I hope you're honest.
Saw Toronto has won 12 straight.
That's good for them. No matter what Toronto does, yeah, we forget all that Williams coming to Boston. So we already passed that. But anyway, what Toronto does is consistently, even without Kawhi Leonard
or superstar.
Yeah, they're second in the East. So one game ahead of Boston.
Watched them a little bit last night. They got Serge still playing for them. Mm-hmm. Van Fleet, guy that kind of fell out of the sky, wasn't even drafted. I watched them play the Pacers
Wichita
a little bit last
State.
night.
He was
Wichita
good
State.
He was good at Wichita State.
I think they have the third best record in the league now, Terry. I mean,
you probably right.
Yeah. So that was kind of. I was like, man.
I think it also helps
nowhere.
Toronto that they play East. They play majority of their teams majority of their games against East Conference teams. I think it really does, and I don't really know which division they're in the Eastern Conference, but what are they playing, like the Knicks? Maybe a lot of this year, so those are probably chalking up to a clean sweep against the Knicks. They're playing the Nets.
You get to play Cleveland.
They get to play Cleveland, yeah. So they're chalking up, but I'm not going to take it away from them. You still have to, for them to still have the success with Kawhi leaving. I mean, that's a testament to what they've got built up there and what Nick Nurse is really working with from the coaching standpoint. Pascal Siakam is real. He goes out there and he plays hard every game. He's got his offensive game seems to improve every year. So I think they are. You could technically call them the shock of the league just because nobody thought they'd be this way without Kawhi.
See, but I'm looking for like a fill-in team because the Cavaliers are so bad. So I like them because they don't have that superstar. Seems like in the NBA, everybody goes out and tries to buy a championship. But I like the fact that they don't really have that superstar. They've got some good players, but without that, we're gonna buy LeBron and bring a championship here. A lot of teams, trying to do this around this deadline here, trying to add a few pieces to the puzzle so they can win. Yeah. So
Toronto's in first, Boston's second, Philadelphia in third in that division. Of course, Hunter, I click on one link when I want to look at something.
We know Terry loves Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Embiid, we know he loves him. He loves him.
Charles Barkley came out and said that the Philadelphia 76ers are the Cleveland Browns of the NBA.
That was nice.
So much talent, but they just can't put it together. They're soft.
I don't think they have the right mix. I mean, Embiid, to me, is a force, but there's certain players that he cannot match up with. He's not quick enough. He can't move his feet good enough. Is he a tough guy on there? Yeah, on the offensive end. But when he's having to play defense, there's some quick centers who can beat him off the dribble.
Well, he looks heavy.
Yeah.
He looks out of shape when he plays. Like, he can be dominant just because of how big he is, and he's got a three-point shot from a 5 position, which can really help him, but he just looks out of shape.
The other night against Milwaukee, he was pretty much toast the whole game.
They were way faster than him. The problem with that, too, matchup with Milwaukee, is, of course, they're going to put Giannis down low where he's at. And like you said, Embiid is not quick enough to keep up with Giannis.
No.
And even then, I don't think Embiid's got the dog in him to really go up and match Giannis. When Giannis is going to the rim, I don't think Embiid has got the dog enough in him to say, I'm going to meet you at the rim.
And here's another one of Terry's favorite Philadelphia players, Ben Simmons.
Yeah, he's great. State beat him, so he's not too much.
I think I've watched him. I think he's pretty good, but Terry can't stand him.
I love watching Ben
I think
Simmons.
he's pretty
I
good.
think he's really good. I think
he's a jerk. He was a jerk to me at the All-Star game.
Yeah, he
so-
was a jerk.
Yeah. I think he's really good. The problem is I can agree
Asking
with
a
Terry.
legitimate
it's,
question.
It's just not a fix. Like that, what they're doing there is not a fix. You can't have two guys that can't shoot a three really consistently on the floor at the same time, and that's what they do with Embiid and with Ben Simmons. And Ben Simmons is so scared to shoot anything but driving to the basket that he just doesn't.
Terry, why don't they just run, set the other three guys at the 3-point line and run a pick and roll with those two? How hard is that? Put them at the top of the
back
key.
in the old days, it was simple.
I mean, they ran that play for
guys,
100 years.
I want to tell you something. And when you do Optimus and you're doing basketball, I was out there last night, and we have got kindergarten, first graders, and then we go to second and third graders, and their second and third graders' favorite shot is the three.
Yeah.
They are firing it from three.
Analytics, baby.
I think they hit one the whole game. But now you're talking about putting it up. If they're open, they firing.
Well, Terry, I'm glad you're talking about basketball and refereeing and the 3-point line. Last night, how about did you see the Blazers, Jazz?
I watched a little bit of
I
that.
watched a little bit of it.
I didn't watch who's the guy for forget his name. He's shooting all the 40-footers.
Leonard.
It's Damian Lillard.
Lillard,
He's disgusting.
I mean, he just because they were talking about it. He has shot like 30 shots from beyond 37 feet. I'm like, well, yeah. Let me watch this. I mean, serious. He went 4 for 4 in the first quarter from three. I mean, he was shooting like 40.
His range is about like Curry's.
He's pulling up from 6, 7, 8, 9 feet
Here's the
behind
thing, too.
and drilling it
This
like
is
he's
what-
shooting a free throw.
What's so crazy too is his range is like Curry. I think his game is better than
He
Curry's.
is.
I do.
He is a better
His
shooter
game-
than Curry.
like, overall-
He's
I
a
agree.
better shooter
I
than Curry.
agree.
He's not as big though.
I don't know
I
about
think he's quite as
pure
tall.
3-point shooter, but like just his overall offensive game is better than Steph
He can take it to
Curry's.
the hoop too.
He can.
I mean, he's fun to watch.
He's a thicker bodied guard too, so he's not afraid to bang bodies and drive the lane.
But what was the controversy? Because I watched about the first quarter and a half, and I figured I better get in bed or I'd be late to work. So
I wish I could say
listen.
the same. My sister had her birthday party last night.
oh Lord,
No, I'll admit I was out till 3:30.
Oh.
I'm dying right now.
not me.
How are you out till 3:30 at Monkey Joe's?
Monkey Joe's.
How old's your sister?
She just turned 22.
Oh, she's an adult.
yeah,
Oh,
she's an
God.
adult.
I didn't know.
Hey, she's
I
an
didn't know where
adult.
you were hanging out at.
I know. Ain't no place called
Well,
Monkey Joe's.
there's some
You
pictures.
might have been in a
Might
place
be
named
a
Monkey
Monkey
Joe's.
Joe's.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Well, Terry-
Waffle House.
Well, Terry, Portland blamed Portland's blaming the referees on their loss last night. I don't know if you saw what happened exactly. Did you see it, Terry?
No,
Go
I did
attend?
not.
I'm
I
trying
mean,
to pull it.
some
I'm
of
gonna
us
pull
go
it
to
up here in a
bed
moment.
before
Some
that
of us
gets
go to
over.
bed. What are you talking about? So, now, first of all, I want to know if any of you have any type of alcohol in your drinks this morning to sit here and say, now, Damian Lillard's good. He might be a better heart to guard off the dribble or take it to the rack. But Steph Curry might be the greatest shooter we've ever seen.
But I never said he's a
I
better
said he
shooter.
was. I did.
He did.
I was impressed.
Now,
I think overall,
Now,
You're
remember-
living it. You're living
remember,
in the moment.
everybody was trashing LeBron last year. Now all of a sudden he's
Yeah.
healthy and he's playing. Remember, Steph hadn't been playing.
No.
Steph has went to the finals multiple times, and Damian Lillard's team is 24-29.
True.
Okay.
But I'm saying shooter. I didn't say he was on a better team or has a better legacy. I didn't
They
say
should
that.
be better.
They
Curry
could
had
be
a
better
lot
shooter.
of people
His-
helping him.
Let's-
That
I'm
made
gonna
his
use a
job
big. I'm
easy.
gonna use a big word that they like to use in the NBA. His offensive repertoire is a lot larger
Yes.
than Steph Curry's.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
I'll agree with you. Steph Curry, straight up shooter, As soon as he crosses half court, there's
You
money.
got to get on him. I
Well,
agree.
Yeah, it's cash.
I mean, we can go down the Trailblazers lineup and see how much they're
But I
just as
think-
good as the
There's
Golden
no
State's
Draymond
lineup.
Green.
No,
Hassan
oh,
Whiteside
God.
is better than Draymond Green.
That's all I got to say.
Terry, Hassan Whiteside.
There's no leader.
Hassan Whitesides.
You know,
Are you really gonna sit there and
Leonard's
say
trying to be the leader. He's
are
it
you
all
going to say
for
your
Portland.
7 points and not 8 points and 7 rebounds are better than
No
basically
Klay
15 and
Thompson.
15?
Come on, no
15 and
Durant.
15.
when he
CJ
was there.
McCollum. Now
I
Durant,
mean-
I'll give you. He's the
I
best
mean-
player that
So
they've
with
ever
Curry,
had.
it's a hand injury, right? But they're going to keep him out the rest of the year.
Yeah, they have
I
not
might
enough
as
money.
well.
They
With
have
their
not enough
record,
to
I
play
would.
for.
They're trying to get the number 1 pick.
Yeah,
Which is
They
what
want the
they're
7-footer
in line
that's
for.
not playing.
Wiseman.
Oh, okay. Is he?
yeah, from Memphis.
The NCAA
Oh,
won't let
okay,
him
yeah,
play
yeah,
because,
yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah, I
because the
remember the
poor
story.
kid
Right,
was
right,
living
right.
in the
I remember
dirt.
the story. Yeah,
And
that was a couple months back.
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
eating crickets, and the NCAA wouldn't allow Anthony Hardaway to buy him a taco when he was 12.
Yeah, I remember.
So
I remember, yeah,
that's
I
what
remember.
happened. So why? Not exactly, but it.
But you're
it's
not
just-
guaranteed to get that.
Close
though.
enough.
Well, not in the
No,
NBA.
you're right.
Not
That's right.
like
Not,
football.
well, yeah, no,
For the
not
most
with
part,
the ping pongs.
the top 3 worst records get the same amount of ping pong balls. So as long as you're in the bottom 3 for that, we talked about that yesterday. Hornets are chasing that. They're in the 6th spot for the number 1 pick. So the 6 would be one of the highest picks they've ever had. But we talked yesterday, and I've got my magic list here. If they had good draft picks, guys, this could be their starting lineup today without making a trade, without doing anything other than making the right draft pick. Kemba Walker at point guard, Bradley Beal at shooting guard, Devin Booker at small forward, Giannis at the 4, and Jokic at the 5. They passed up on all those. Every single that could be their starting lineup right now. They could have an all-star team in Charlotte right now without ever doing anything other than making the right draft pick.
Hindsight's 2020, Kevin.
Yes. And the Hornets have 2,500 vision. They're the Mr. Magoo of drafting players.
So I think you're arguing they have a management issue.
They're big management.
I mean,
I'm not
and me and
mistaken-
Hunter was wondering why they didn't make a trade, didn't make a move. They've got some expiring contracts.
I
Thank
would have made a
goodness.
move.
But Hunter wanted to see some moves. They let go. The only move is them letting go Marvin Williams. And dang, I typed in the wrong thing there. But I was going to pull up. Let's see the trade machine and look at their contracts. They've got a couple of expirings to the Hornets. It was MKG.
Yeah.
Was Marvin expiring before they cut him? I don't think he was it? Or
I don't know.
they
I
bought
think
him
he
out?
had- no, I thought Marvin Williams was expiring, or he was coming up
They
on like
just
2
no,
years.
I think it was a $54 million deal he signed in 2016, so that
Yeah.
would make it $54 million. These guys make crazy money, Terry.
Marvin
Crazy
has
money.
made. Isn't he on the list of some of the most highest paid players in the league?
Hey man, milk
Because
That's
that
average
remember he
less
was
than 10.
drafted second. He got some of those big
So
Incentives.
contracts
What is his average?
right now.
I mean, that's what I want to know. I mean, you've got Marvin Williams. What is his average for his career?
Well,
Is it like 9
Hunter would
points?
help me out today here.
10
Oh,
points?
So I'm saying this guy's making what, 12, 13 million
Tom's
dollars
got
a
an
year?
electric
That's what I'm
newspaper in
saying.
front of
I
him.
mean,
in
you're
front
talking
of
about
him.
overpaid. Now, if he said it's over 15, I said, okay, maybe. I mean, maybe he's not. He's in
I
average.
think he's playing 19 minutes a game. He's got
Well, it's
6
definitely
points.
overpaid because he hasn't lived up to being the number 2 overall pick,
No,
and
he
he
has
got
not
all
did
of those
that.
bonuses from being basically a top 5 in lottery
Hey,
pick.
compared to Michael Kidd Gilchrist, he has been a outstanding
Yeah, I agree.
number
I
2
will
draft
agree
pick.
there. I will agree there. Yeah. So when you put him up against him, it's a different story.
Now, when compared to Kevin
Maybe
Durant,
not the $10 million situation,
compared to
but
Kevin Durant and Akeem Olajuwon, Terry, are you saying that Marvin Williams did not match up there? That what you're saying?
well, he's way behind on that scale.
He was he did $15 million a year. This was his last year. Hornets can actually clear up.
$15 million.
Yep.
Well, we did it yesterday. It was like almost
They can clear up
next
$50
year,
million.
like $50 million they'll be clearing up.
So the Hornets can have $50 million in cap space next year, Terry. So they can throw at someone. Here's what thought here, Hunter.
Thought.
Could they make a trade offer? Well, now with the cap room, they can absorb someone that the team might not want to pay, plus a bad contract. What about Embiid? in the trade to the Hornets?
Well, it would come down to which one is Philadelphia tied to more. Are they in love with Ben Simmons or are they in love with Joel Embiid more? Personally, I think they love Embiid just because he's embraced. He's embraced basically Philadelphia. And Ben Simmons, I was listening to a podcast just trying to stay awake coming down here in all seriousness, but he made a good point about Ben Simmons. He said Ben Simmons wants to be Hollywood. Just the way he acts, he's dating a Jenner. He just wants to be Hollywood, where Joel Embiid just wants to be like the fun guy that's out there just playing basketball. And I think the 76ers fan base likes that more. But then it comes down to the question, well, who do you think's got like a higher ceiling? Because they're both relatively young. Ben Simmons technically is only in his third or fourth season. Mm-hmm. And then Joel Embiid is maybe in his fifth season. So they still have a long career barring any major injury. Could they make the deal? Yes. Are the Hornets smart enough to do that? Probably not. I could see them going for another contract that they just want to eat up from somebody else, like maybe Blake Griffin contract with the Detroit Pistons. Maybe eat up that kind of contract if the Detroit Pistons really don't want to keep Blake Griffin around. They just moved off Andre Drummond. They moved him to Cleveland, which I don't know. I don't even know why Cleveland made that trade, Tom, but they did. So there's a third big man for them to lose with.
Is it hard, though, for me to say if Charlotte's going to make a trade, then they're going to make a trade for somebody that's been in the league, that's on his way down to come and help them? Is that really going to help them? I mean, they need somebody maybe 3 or 4 years into making where he could stay another 6 or 7 years.
That's why I said Embiid.
That's that's what's so difficult, though, is unless you can get somebody just in a trade like that where another team will agree to send somebody of that caliber to you, there's no free agent that's probably interested.
What about offering the Lakers in the offseason Monk for Kyle Kuzma?
I mean,
not Monk. Yeah, if you want to offer Monk, money-wise, I'm looking at elsewhere. Sorry. The other point guard they just signed, I'm staring right at him. Terry Rozier for Kyle Kuzma.
Terry Rozier for Kyle Kuzma?
They'll need point guard help.
Well, they will.
I don't think the Lakers would do that. That's not even a good match, I wouldn't think.
Don't they need guard help?
Kuzma's way better than Rozier is.
But that's not the problem, Terry. Right now,
I know that.
They want guard help. So and
the thing is,
Hunter,
fit with Kuzma.
Hunter, we didn't talk.
He doesn't like LeBron's already in the spot. They go big. They put AD there.
Mm-hmm.
They put Danny Green there. Like he's just eating up a spot on the bench, really. But
This year,
he is good.
Remember
I wanted
this
them to
year
trade for
when
him.
we pull up the standings, I always say the Lakers are going to have problems with the Rockets. And then they got beat the other night about them, and that's what I meant by the Lakers.
Against small ball.
If they start getting beat off the dribble like that the whole time against these other teams, they're going to say LeBron can't run with those guys anymore. He's too old for that and too big. I think a Terry Rozier Kuzma type switch would be good for both teams.
I'm telling you though, I really liked the trade.
I would
rumor.
just require that Kuzma dye his hair back.
Not bleach it. Yeah, I don't like the look of that. But I really liked the rumor going around that Terry Rozier was possibly in a trade with the Knicks for Julius Randle. Randle walking on the floor for the Hornets, that's a walking 20 and 10 guy. 20 points, 15 rebounds. Yeah. Like, that's what they really could have used a solid 4.
Marvin Williams averaging 6 points this year.
What's his career?
10.
But he's almost 40%
well,
from three-pointer.
10 points or less.
He's almost 40% from 3-4. I mean, 40% from
good.
So you're telling me all I have to do?
He shoots 3 a game.
You're telling me, Terry, all I have to do is walk on a court and try and score 6 points in the NBA, and I can get $15 million.
Yeah, think about it, guys. That's what I'm saying. Something's right. Play 19 minutes.
Do they have a open court? Can I just go?
I believe we can do that. I believe I can shoot from Leonard land every game.
Look, all you have to do is
you
chuck
might not be able to get back on defense.
All you have to do is chuck it up.
Hey, I can be back. If I shoot from out there, I'm already back.
All you got to do is chuck it up, and if one hits, just be like, all right, I'm 50% from what I'm trying to score.
If you are a guard and you shoot from downtown, then you ain't got far to go to be set at your guard spot when they come down. I just might get beat off the dribble going to the hole.
I can see you getting beat off the dribble quite a bit, Terry.
But I agree.
In his career, Marvin Williams has averaged more points than Draymond Green. 10 and 5 for Marvin Williams, 9 and 7 for Draymond Green, Terry.
Yeah, but Draymond Green, he's a leader. There's a difference from Marvin Williams. Marvin Williams not a leader.
How are you classified as a leader when you kick someone in the manhood in the NBA Finals
Williams average?
and you're ejected?
How many
And
rebounds
kicked out of the
Marvin
next game.
Williams got?
And Draymond Green was caught sending explicit pictures on an airplane. Whoa. Let's
He's
not
on an
stay
airplane.
woke, people. Stay woke.
All right, Terry. Here's your referee complaint of the day. All right, so Portland last night.
All right, gotta see this.
All right, I'm trying to pull it up, but I want to start talking about it while I'm pulling.
We
it up.
still like Platoon way too much money.
Well, yeah, he's still
Well,
got
he's
2
only
years.
got
I don't
2
know.
years.
Nobody wants to trade
No,
for that
I
4
don't blame
points a
him. I
game at
wouldn't
$24 million, Terry.
I
Nobody.
wouldn't either.
Good job. Good job,
Hey,
Hornets.
hey,
Good
Charlotte,
agent. Good agent.
Charlotte,
Oh, great agent.
Charlotte, buy out the 2 years. For the love of God, just get it off. Just get it. Just open up a roster spot. Pull up a guy from the G League.
Just
tank a little bit more.
roster
Just do it, man. Oh my God. Just buy out his what? 50 million basically.
Yeah,
25
2
this year?
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Glad
20
you were
yeah.
here.
I think next year's
Yeah.
even 27 million.
Oh, so maybe. All right, so he's gonna get about 52. Great. 52 million to score 4 points, dude. I'll go out there and score 2 points for $100,000.
Just looking here.
So, go ahead, Tom.
I was just gonna say, the Cavaliers making that trade, they're playing for the future. They might as well play for the future. They are 13 and
Yeah.
39.
Oh yeah.
But they didn't give away a lot, and I think that
No, they gave up Brandon Knight, and I had it pulled up yesterday. I can't remember.
Knight, and then they gave away somebody with another expiring contract and a second-round pick. So
Well, I guess it's good. To me, the winner, obviously, of that trade was Detroit, and it's nothing
that's
to
not
do
what
with.
anybody else is saying, though. Everybody else is saying, well, you didn't give a whole lot of the guys a potential superstar.
Andre Drummond as a potential superstar.
That's what
Drummond's
they're
been
saying.
in the league enough to what he's
They're
going to be.
saying.
He's a star.
All right,
Right?
for
He's
the-
not a
Just
superstar.
he needs to change the scenery now.
Yeah, but you
Breakout.
didn't. But the problem is they didn't move Tristan Thompson or Kevin Love. If they would have moved one of those two for some better pieces, I would have been all for it.
For our viewers online, I'm pointing at. We're going to show the play for Terry and the guys here on the screen.
Oh, you got it set up with 4 people on there.
Yeah, I got
now.
I got us up there in the corner. But
Nice.
for the folks watching online, if you're listening on the radio, you can watch on Facebook and watch the replays on YouTube again. I'm going to show Terry the goaltending. Now, remember, they're down 3 with 9 seconds left in the game. Okay? They want a goaltending call, and Portland blames the referees for the loss. Now, Terry, in this loss, I want to remind you that I put up the stats here. In a loss, the Portland Trailblazers missed 53 shots, got out-rebounded by 15, and gave up 117 points. And, Terry, it is the referee's fault on this
Guess
one
what?
call.
We're
CJ
saying-
McCollum's calling for suspensions and fines of the referees. Terry, I ain't even shown you the play yet.
No, I hadn't even looked at
And
it.
what do you think about those
All
comments?
I got to do is tell you that we're running out the doors, getting on the plane, heading to the next place we got a ref.
They missed
There's no way a
53
ref
shots, and it's
cost
the
them
ref's
this
fault.
game.
He's running out of the door just claiming that game check.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
I don't even have to show you the
Thank you.
situation. I have not shown Terry the block or Tom the block or any on the block yet. They just know that they missed 53 shots, out-rebounded by 15, and gave up 117, down by 3 with 9, and it's the referee's fault they lost. So I'm just going to hit play on this for you folks watching online. We'll see what we see what happens. So Portland, I guess that's Melo.
Yeah,
Coming down the
rebound
court
by
now.
Melo.
For some reason, they decided to double team Carmelo. Left the guy wide open. Now, where's the 3? I thought they were going to show it. Never mind. Well, they're not showing it on. Well, show me the goaltend. Here we go. Lillard goaltend. Off the backboard. Gobert hits it. I'm guessing the obvious goaltend right there, guys.
I agree. with
that they didn't call it.
Yeah,
Right.
they didn't call it, but that only pulls it to within 1, so you don't have to shoot the 3. Is that what they're going to say?
Yeah, that's
right.
probably what they're saying.
But, I mean, you're still down by 1.
Right.
Yeah, but even then, that guy's right there in the corner. If they're only down by 1, I mean, I can see where they have a problem because it obviously is goaltending.
Do they not replay that?
No, they didn't, no.
uh-uh.
I mean, that is a goaltend. There's nothing, I mean, that's not even a question.
Yeah.
But the question is, Terry,
But here's
did
the
it cost
problem.
them the lot? Is that the reason
watch this.
they lost?
Keep
Oh,
keep
you want to
running
go
that.
back to the
No, go back to
three-pointer?
the 3-pointer.
Yeah, right here.
Right here. I'm sorry, dude. You
1
are
second.
wide open.
There's 1 second left, yeah.
Yeah, there's the thing though. He's wide
It's not like
open.
he had time to go for a
If he,
layup.
I'm serious though.
Yeah.
If they count this as goaltending and it's only a 1 point game, I think he drives the lane.
He don't have time.
He probably does for at least a little floater.
He caught the ball with 1 second left.
See
It
there?
was about a
1.3.
1.3, 1.5 seconds.
What would he
so-
took? One step? He wouldn't have been able to take too many steps in there.
Hey,
He'd had to take
and
a
that's
shot.
not an analytically good shot, Hunter.
No, it's not. well,
That's
also,
the best shot in the NBA, though, what he took.
3-pointer in the
Yeah.
corner. Yeah, I know. I'm not sure. It's is it goaltending? Yeah.
Because
I mean,
Anthony was not going to the hole,
Well,
but
here's
he's
the
wide
thing.
open.
Yeah, I know he's wide open
Yeah,
down
he
below.
is.
But if they did not need the 3, do you think maybe he feeds in the paint as soon as
Well,
he sees
one
him
of them
open?
guys would have stayed back because they're not going to let Anthony beat them
No.
from out there.
They're
So I
not-
understand
they're
every
not gonna
bit of
give
that.
up the
They're going to
3.
give up that layup.
Because
But he
Well,
would've
they still
never-
gave it to him for the 3.
Yeah. He's wide open from over there.
Who is that?
I have no
Is that
idea.
Bam?
Bam. Bam is in Miami.
Oh, is that not Miami? Sorry.
No, it's the
Portland. Well, I have no idea who's playing in the NBA today because their jerseys.
They are all different every now
Like,
and
I
then.
look at that court, I think one of those teams is the Heat.
Yeah.
I see red and white. And,
I mean, number 44 is
orange.
going, man, we left him wide open.
Yeah, they got
He
lucky.
just missed it.
They got lucky. Donovan Mitchell's got his hands in there. He's like, yeah, we escaped
Cool,
this one.
thank you. We
We
stopped the
escaped this
man we
one.
was supposed to because he's going to take a 3.
Mhm.
And see, here's another thing. If you're on the other end, how come the ball's in Anthony's hand?
And not Damian Lillard. saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because he just missed a layup.
He didn't miss a layup. That was
Carmelo
goaltending.
has won an Olympic ring and a
Okay, and an NCAA championship.
NCAA
Yeah,
championship.
good job.
All right, Terry's poo-pooing NCAA
Yeah.
championships now, Tom. Write that down.
I didn't say that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Good job.
Time of death for the NCAA championship, 8:36 on a Saturday.
All right, real quick.
Cause
for
of death, Terry Ryan.
real quick, we're late on our first break here. JP, did you find your biscuit?
He's asleep.
Did you find your biscuit? I didn't mean to hide it from you for that long. I only meant to hide it from you about 5 minutes. It's it's in the brown bag in the break room. My bad, man. Well, not really my bad. You got here late. Lakers are in first, Clippers second,
Closing the gap.
Denver third, Utah fourth, Houston fifth, Oklahoma sixth, seventh, Dallas. I'm going to see them tonight with the family, and Memphis Grizzlies taking all the little ones. We got 4 kids with us going to see the basketball game tonight.
Well, Houston beats the Lakers and then turns around and gets blown out by Phoenix.
Matchups, Tommy. Matchups, Tommy.
And one more parting shot at Hunter. Drummond leads the NBA the last
What, in rebounds?
offensive rebounds.
Yeah,
Offensive
yeah. I
rebounds.
would hope so when you're almost 300 plus pounds and like 7 foot tall.
Nobody can move.
Nobody can move him. I
I'll
hope
tell you, his
so.
numbers look pretty good. He's averaging over 17 points a game. I want to say it was around 13 rebounds a game. I don't know, Hunter. It's a pretty good deal for a
losing
franchise
team.
for a franchise trying to get back on track, looking for that
I
player
mean,
to put him back
I
on
don't
track.
have any. I can't say anything. Washington just traded away the point guard they were running in Isaiah Thomas. I mean, we can't get John Wall back on the court. So I mean, we don't know what the hell we're doing.
Well, a few weeks ago, we had the Hornets were floating around the 8th place. We got rid of our number 1 player and still having the same record. Charlotte couldn't even tank right. The over-under was 24. Me and Hunter said take the way under. And they started off kind of hot for a team, but they're cooling off a little bit, Hunter, and they've backed up into the top 10 now in the lottery, all the way up to the 6th spot. So the plan is working for the most part. Just dumped off 6 points a game with Marvin Williams.
Here's the problem: it's working in a weak draft class. It's a very weak draft class. I don't know what they're gonna try and do when it comes to the NBA draft. Again, and like I said yesterday when we were talking about it initially, it's hard to know really who the top prospects are because of everybody that's playing overseas now.
No, I agree.
Like I like some of the guys like Luka. Until Luka burst onto the scene. Unless you're a guy that is actively scouting, the European League, the Australian League. I mean, we don't know this stuff. So
That guy was playing pro ball when he was what, 16 or 17 years old.
Yeah, he's I think the youngest to play in a European championship. And I'm not going to sit here and say that he's the youngest to win it because I'm not sure, but he probably did win it. As good as he is, it would not surprise me. He dominates here in the United States. Why wouldn't he dominate in Europe?
Tom, we were talking yesterday also, speaking of the Europeans, with the Hornets track record, should they just pick whatever consensus European is the best and just go with it?
It's just hard. I mean, I
with
know,
what they've passed up over the years.
I know you've been critical of them, but it is hard. Is this guy going to be a slam dunk 2025, some kind of guy who's really going to change your franchise? I mean, it's just hard to tell, Kevin. I mean, you think, some of them are slam, like LeBron James, that's pretty much a slam dunk, but not everybody's. I think it's just harder than you say. I mean, you reel off all those names like you should have picked these guys, but I don't know, Kevin. It's not. Yeah, I guess there's.
All right, they picked
to
Cody Zeller over C.J. McCollum, Steven Adams, Giannis, Rudy Gobert, Trey Burke. There's some names they picked him over. Vonleh, they picked Noah Vonleh. He's been traded 7 times.
He got traded again
over
at the
Zach
trade
Levine.
deadline.
Yeah.
Over Zach Levine, NC State all-time great T.J. Warren over here. Nurkic, Gary Harris, Rodney Hood, Capola, Bogdanovich, who just made the All-Star team. They drafted Vonleh over him, and Dinwiddie, and Jokic. That's just in 1 year.
I'm trying to stick up.
It's so bad.
I'm trying to stick up for the local franchise. Okay,
It's so bad. We can't.
It's difficult because I'll admit this, and I think me and Kevin both said it. I thought Vonleh would work out. I just don't think he has the motor for it because when he was at Indiana, he was very impressive. But then he got to the NBA, realized he's not really one of the best players on the court anymore, and kind of shrank.
I have looked at 3 different
Those
mock
drafts are dumb.
and they're all so different from each other.
They're all
It's
so
insane.
different, but I'm telling you guys, any mock draft that shows a Golden State Warriors team as a #1 pick taking a guard, you're dumb.
They just traded.
You just traded
Yeah.
away your guard. If why would you draft one when you
They
have
were
a
gonna
set
take Wiseman.
20-point guard and just traded him away because of he didn't fit? That's what Steve Kerr said. He said Wiggins is a better fit. So why would you not take the 7-foot Wiseman that is going to go out there and be young enough and not be like an Andrew Bogut? He's going to go out there and be athletic enough and young enough to, be a key contributor, not just a big body down low. I don't know. Draft, whatever.
Well, Terry, Cavs going to? I mean, Tom, Cavs are up there in the draft. How unfair would it be? How do you guys think about this? As far as the Cavs fan, I mean, you guys get the #1 pick all the time, so y'all really can't complain. But as a Hornets fan, Terry, shouldn't we be upset if the Warriors end up with the #1 pick? That we're in draft lottery after lottery after lottery after lottery,
and they've won
these
so many
dodos win these championships, and
And
they
they
have
were just-
one bad year because
Yeah.
Kevin Durant tore an ACL, and they get the 1 pick.
Think
This
about
is
it.
like
It's
San
kinda-
Antonio getting Duncan to add to Robinson. He went out to 1 year. They would have never had Tim Duncan if Robinson doesn't
It's
get hurt.
because it's crazy. I mean, they literally were in the championship last year, and now they're about to get the #1 pick.
And the
Is
Hornets.
that not how the system works, though?
Well, I mean, there is.
I mean,
no,
with
hey,
everybody they've got hurt and
there-
out
I mean,
and
I
lose
agree.
Durant and
there is no
everything else.
guarantee. There is no guarantee of success that you'll have it year to year. So,
Right.
but to have such a decline,
Not only
I
have
don't
they
think
made
they
bad
really
picks,
play.
they missed
I don't
Shaq,
think they do.
Dwight Howard, and Anthony Davis all by 1 pick. They missed Shaq, Anthony Davis, and Dwight Howard all by 1 pick. Not to mention the list of my magic list of awful Hornets picks that I keep on handy just in case someone wants to go down memory lane.
He does have his research
He
done on
does.
how awful the Hornets have drafted.
He does.
Like,
Especially when you think
as
of the
the
people
station-
that went by.
As the station is a
Giannis-
Hornets affiliate, I try to stick up for him a
Giannis
little bit.
is
but-
tough though because I mean he was a crapshoot. He was one of those guys coming over from Europe that no one really had any idea what he could become. And the thing as
Yeah.
well about why I understand why he has to be so hard on the Hornets. I'm a Washington fan, but I'll tell you like Washington as a market is more attractive than Charlotte is. So if they can't get it done in a free agency, then you have to hit in the draft. and they just haven't,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's screwed them for years.
I think it all goes back, and people can say all they want to, but it all goes back to when Kobe said, "I'm not playing in Charlotte."
Yep.
Well, then
think
they
he-
moved and became
yeah.
the Bobcats. That I think them not getting the Hornets name. George Shinn taking the Hornets name, and they were the Bobcats. A lot of teams remember them as the Bob. A lot of the kids now they're playing, they didn't grow up with Michael Jordan as their heroes. They watched LeBron and these guys, and they watched the Bobcats. They didn't watch
Get
the
blown
Hornets.
out and have the worst
And
record.
so they have a
ever in
different
NBA history.
history than anyone over 25 does with the Hornets name. And that was George Shinn's FU to the city was I'm taking the Hornets name with me when he went. So and then we had to get that back. And then when he goes and he gets Anthony Davis and we don't. So the Hornets keep getting stabbed in the back by the NBA, much less their GMs. I don't know what's going on. I think Michael, what happened is that Stern let him in the league and said, "You ain't winning nothing. just you can make your money, Michael. Everyone hates you right now. You got 20 years, and then we'll have a run about your whatever it is. Michael's got 20 years to own it before he can win it, and then that'll start happening. Sometimes you know how they make those. I think they make those deals. Tom don't believe in me, but Michael, but Jordan.
We do this all the time. There's always the conspiracy text message I receive.
But the guy connected to gambling's father died, and he quit for a year and a half. But seriously, doesn't not bring up any conspiracies whatsoever.
Well,
Golden State 1, Cleveland 2, Hawks 3, Minnesota 4, Knicks 5, and Hornets 6. Right now, if they pick, like I said, top 3 teams, I'll get the same amount of ping pong balls, and in the draft. So there you go. Anybody specific you want the Cavs to have, Tom or Hunter, the Wizards?
Well,
Terry, I say Hornets should draft the best European or the best scorer in the draft.
What's the kid's name from Memphis?
Wiseman.
Yeah.
I think it's been the consensus that he's going to go number 1, right?
Man, whoa. Why do you want Wiseman? You just got Andre Drummond.
Yeah,
you
well,
already got a center.
you won't need Wiseman.
We drafted 2 guards back to back here. Basically,
Tom, if you want
but
we
Colin
drafted the same guy
Sexton
2
is
years
a
in a row.
bust.
Everything
What
I'm
was the
looking
first
on you
one?
guys is the shooting guard for Georgia or LaMelo Ball is coming.
What do they say?
You've got the Ball brothers
What do
coming
they say?
to Cleveland.
Take the best player available, right? Get the best player available.
I bet LaMelo.
Nothing's permanent.
That's what Charlotte did.
I bet LaMelo says I'm not playing in Cleveland.
Nah.
You never know that.
He'll be in the Knicks.
You never know that.
Yeah,
He'll force his way to the Knicks.
Cleveland's a nice town. You ought to go there sometime.
I've been there.
It's
nice.
okay.
It's clean.
Guess.
It's no, it is. It's a good little place. Everybody tries to, because they listen to the major media and everybody trashes it, but you've never been there. It's actually
Cincinnati's
nice
really
city.
nice.
All right,
too.
JP, where you at? I see your head pop up.
Can I say one thing before we go to break?
Right.
Burns gets a win last night against East Gaston. J.Q. Wells, 33 points, Kevin.
Outstanding.
33 points. Congratulations to Burns. They won on senior night.
What's that?
And a few more scores from last night.
We can do that in a minute. We got like 5 more
I was
breaks to
wondering,
take
man,
next
we was going
few
to
minutes.
forget it. I was going to get it.
We
in
just
there.
went way long on the NBA trade
Because
stuff. Way long.
some papers put nothing, and we
Did
have to
Cherry win
hunt it.
last night?
No. We'll be back in a few minutes, JP, on ktcbroadcasting.com. Hey, good morning, JP. All right, I want you to think. I got you. I got a job for you, JP, this morning. All right, in the spirit of America and space, they are asking for names to call our Space Force soldiers.
Like soldiers?
Right. JP, JP, we got to mute. Is that you? Turn the production off. It's you got the Facebook running in there. I just pulled up. Just mute the production computer. There you go. Got you. So
We can't just call them cadets.
soldiers, sailors, cadets. No, they're looking for. Well,
Well, I mean,
do you want to call them? Someone else is
No.
already using cadets. It's got to be something else.
No, they're going to be called Spartans.
Space cadets.
We're going to call them Spartans.
So there's already the Army Rangers. You got to have something different, and they're actually the government's actually outsourcing this for the American people for ideas on what to call them. So Starfleet, anything like up that.
Starfleet.
If it's not been trademarked, which it probably has. I'm just saying, JP, I want you to come up with some names and nominations for us guys in here for later in the show, and then we'll give we'll vote on it. How about that? We'll give the KTC Space Force vote. All right, JP. All right, welcome back to Space Force, Terry. You ready? Would you go to space if it was if it was safe?
Yeah.
Not like, hey, I'm probably going to die on this trip, but just hey, I want to go to space. Some people want to go no matter what. I was just wondering.
If it was a day trip,
A day trip.
and back,
Day
I might.
trip. You can barely go to Boone and back in a day.
Well,
But man, I don't
I'm
know
just
about
saying,
that.
why would you go to space and stay 6 months to 8 months a year, or longer? Some of them.
Well, it's that far.
Well, I cannot see me doing that, so I prefer to be where I'm at and
You need your
be
NC,
happy.
you need your NC State basketball, don't you?
You know, well, I guess they could feed that to me off a satellite.
Yeah, I mean,
But-
you're up there legit with the satellites. I
You're right.
mean,
Mine should come quick.
Yeah, you can get direct feed.
I'm trying to pull up the standings and everything here. Last night, Tom, you want to talk a little bit about your game real quick? You mentioned that, and then Terry
yeah.
had some scores to give while I pull these up.
It was up and down. It was fast paced. It was kind of hard to keep up with what was going on. It was just, track meet up and down. But JQ Wells on the inside was getting a lot of second chance points. And I said, man, JQ's got a lot. Looked at he had 16 points in the second quarter, finished up with 33 points. It was back and forth. It was a tight game. There was one little stretch there with about a minute to go where Burns got a layup, turnover, layup, turnover, layup. I mean, it was like quick 6 points, and that kind of did East Gaston in. And East Gaston's had a really tough season, Terry. They've only won one game all year, but looking at them, I'm kind of surprised that they've only won one game. You know what I mean? It's just like you could tell. Okay, well they're not a playoff team, but they're not a one-win team either. They play in a pretty tough league. So there's no easy games in our league. Everybody's pretty good, but just want to tip my cap to Burns, first year coach Thurman Jeter, doing a good job. I think he's coming along. He's got to put his system in. He's got to get his players to buy in. It's going to take a little while, but the kids are playing hard, and that's one thing that you look for in any team. That if the kids aren't playing hard, then there's a problem. But Burns, I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs. They're kind of right there in the middle of the conference, but good hard play. Got after it all night, and like I said, that little mini run in the fourth quarter is what did East Gaston in. I want to say ended up being 72-61. Ended up being like an 11-point game, but it was close throughout.
What does that do for Burns? I mean, what kind of position are they in the conference?
I want to say they're 5-6.
We're going to Terry, if you'll just be quiet, don't ask questions.
I want to
like
say
that.
they're 5-6, Terry. I don't think they'll get in.
All right, I got you. They are Burns in the conference. Right now it says 4-6.
4-6.
I don't know if that's 100% update. No, this isn't updated because last night Chevy
so they're 5-6 in the league. They've got one more. They've got one more game. They've got to play Tuesday on the road, and I'll have to see who that is. 6-6 in the conference. I don't know if that gets them in, Terry. Do you know
Tuesday at RS
Got to give them
Central.
7 wins.
Tuesday at RS Central.
Yeah,
that's what
they're
I'm saying.
right there on the edge, aren't they? I mean, because they don't have a lot of wins overall.
So you're saying they're a bubble team?
Yeah, they're really a bubble.
Yeah, I
and
mean-
that bubble is probably real little.
Well,
Yeah.
Terry's our bubble team expert, so we'll
Bubble
have to
team?
go, we'll go have to
Find
go
the
to
last
him on
4
that.
in, last 4 out
They'd
type
be
of
the
deal.
last 4 out
Okay, gotcha. Last
right
4 out.
now is what I'd put them.
But I think that, when you've got the first year coach and things have to, you got to put your system in what you want to run. You
I
have to,
agree.
and really building the relationship with the community too. He's been in the community a long time, so as the coach, making sure that you keep the good relations in the community, keep the guys there, which I think he's going to be able to do. You have to do that these days, though, Terry. You know what I mean? The way these guys hop around. I was watching something on Facebook about there was like 30 or 40 players in Charlotte Mech that have transferred
Oh, yeah.
schools. Everybody moving everywhere. So I think that if you have the community relations, you put your system in, the people buy into the system, they can tell you care about the program, it'll go in the right direction. And, I think all those elements are there. So moving forward, I think Burns is going to be okay. Their JV team is not big, but very, very athletic. And that seems the way Burns is every year. They don't really have that guy that's 6'6", like a lot, like East Gaston had a 6'6" kid. It seems like everybody's got a 6'5" kid somewhere in there, but we're going to have to out athlete teams. We're going to have to do, up tempo pressure type style of play, and the kids seem to buy into it. They enjoy that style of play. Now sometimes it gets Terry.
I
you
can
probably
believe.
haven't seen this man.
Yeah.
It gets and the thing is, when you play that way, there's going to be a lot of turnovers. You're going to cause turnovers, but we do turn the ball over a lot, and that's something in the future they're going to have to do better is with the turnovers.
And when you play that way, there's a lot of beating and banging, and people are hollering, "That's a foul! That's a foul!
Right.
That's a foul!"
Correct.
And there's nobody's
Yes.
got the ball. Yeah. I
mean-
understand every bit of that.
But something else we do well is, and that wasn't in the Shelby game. Now, in the Shelby game, they killed us on the boards because that Hollyfield kid, I think he just intimidates everybody so much up underneath.
He had 11 last night.
But he's just intimidating. I mean, I think the kids are scared, almost scared to box him out sometimes, because he's so big.
He drew a charge on Isaiah Tate, and I just laughed. Isaiah Tate is 5'11", 155, and that's I remember when he was a freshman and he was about 5'6", 120, and he drew it. Dax drawing a charge on. He weighs 250 pounds about.
I'm just telling you.
I mean, not Dax, but Jack. And it just like Terry. That one was silly. The refs just said you ain't getting that one.
But on the offensive boards last night, that's where JQ got a lot of his points.
Yeah.
His offensive boards, and that's hustle. Offensive boards and is hustle. So I like the way the guys were hustling. I'd like to see him steal a win at RS Central. RS Central's a pretty good team, Terry. I've seen them. I think they're maybe seven wins in the conference, 8 wins in the
8
conference.
and 2 in the conference.
Yeah, 8
Shelby
wins ago.
going into last night's play. Shelby 10-0. They're now 11-0. RS Central is 8-2. South Point 7-3. Chase 5-5. Burns 4-6. East Rutherford 1-9. East Gaston 0-10 in the conference.
Burns really needed to sweep Chase when they split. Now Chase has got a couple of big guys. I think if they would have been able, and I think that hurt him because Burns does have a lack of size, but if they would have beat Chase twice, I think that would have put them up there and made it more of a bubble. But with their conference record, I just don't see him getting in, Terry.
Yeah.
I don't know what the cutoff is. How do they do it in basketball? I know it's 4 wins in football. I'm not sure how they do it in basketball.
Well, football you got 8 divisions too.
Yeah,
In the girls, Shelby 9-1, RS Central 8-2, Burns 6-4, East Gaston 5-5, East Rutherford 2-4, South Point 1-7, Chase 0-8. Kings Mountain Shelby played last night out of conference play. Shelby gets the sweep. They're in first place in both the girls and the boys. In the boys game last night, Jack, Isaiah, and Deshaun Christopher all got in a little foul trouble 3 there early on. Kind of they all set out at certain points in the game with some foul trouble. Halftime score 39-39. Kings Mountain went in the game last night averaging 84 points a game, 87 points a game, I think, and Shelby averaging 78, but Kings Mountain was giving up 78, and Shelby's only giving up like 50 points a game. So last night, our guess before the game was Shelby 77. They ended up getting 86 in an 86-66 win, which was tied at halftime.
You know, I watched, Shelby played Burns Tuesday night. What I was impressed with, they are very deep. So if they get in foul trouble, they're okay.
It doesn't matter.
Because it doesn't hurt them as bad. But I think Jahari Mitchell, I've watched that kid grow up. There was a number of times where he could have forced a shot. Fast break, he could have forced a shot and maybe get fouled, maybe not, throw away a possession. But there was a lot of times where he would get a steal. He would attack. Okay, it's not there. Bring it back. Wait for Best to get down there. Wait for Jack to get down there. Throw it in layup. And he did that a number of times. And that's leadership.
It is.
You know what I mean? And because there's so many kids these days. There's so many kids these days that if I'm going to the rack no matter what. And you might get fouled or you might you don't know what's going to happen. But he knows that I don't have to force the issue. If it's there, I'm going to take it. If not, I'm going to back it out because I've got the pieces around me that can score. I don't have to force everything. And for a lot of these guys out there, I think they can learn from that example. And then they do have a coach over there. Coach Hollifield does a good job with that team. But I was impressed. It was just like maturity that I saw in a lot of the things he did Tuesday night. And they really, towards the end of the game, it got a little sloppy, and I think they ended up winning by like 25 points. But they have a good team, and they're very deep, and they have a good chance to go a long way.
Hunter, you would have enjoyed the game last night because Jahari Mitchell was matched up with Kobe Paysor all night.
Ooh.
So we had the two best wide receivers in the state. They went up against each other in football, on the basketball court, going man to man. In the first matchup, Kobe had 30-something points. Last night, Jahari Mitchell was our defensive MVP, Tom, for holding Kobe to 9 points last night.
He does a lot of things.
And they won by 20. So he cut off Kobe from 30 to 9. They won by 20. There's you some math on that for Jahari. Elijah Borders actually was our offensive MVP, the point guard. Like I said, with everybody checking out throughout the game with some type of foul trouble, both teams were in man-to-man, and he just took it to whoever was guarding him all night. In the third quarter, had 12 points by himself, and they won that third quarter, and that's what gave them the win.
Yeah.
They outscored in the second half 47-27, and it was tied at halftime.
I got something I want to say.
Yeah.
And it's sticking with high school athletics. Obviously, I'm from the Catawba County area, Bandy's alumni. I think I would take some time this morning for those of you listening in Lincoln County and Catawba County, well, even in and around the area, Unfortunately, this week, one of my friends, I've grown up throughout high school at least, was Maddie Story. Maddie Story was 1,000-point scorer at Bandy's.
Sure was.
And her father, Mark Story, was the head coach that took them in 2014 at least to the state championship game. Unfortunately, this week, Mark Story died from, I believe it was a heart attack. He died earlier this week. Yeah, it's just tough. He was a teacher of mine. Knew him outside of school as well. He graduated with my parents, so my parents known him. But just for the sports area, he coached women's basketball and obviously has been involved as Maddie and everybody came up through the South Fork 2A.
Was he still coaching?
Yeah, no, and he was not. He was working for the county in the IT department for the school system. So, it's just a loss that the Bandy's community is taking right now. Really, the Catawba County area. Because he'd been in touch with just so many of the schools and just was one of the coaches. So just sticking while we're here with with high school basketball. If you could just, the receiving was yesterday. There's a funeral today. Mark Story of Bandy's High School.
Yeah. Now speaking of them, I know we played against Maddie and all them as they was coming through, and at that point in time, Bandy's was one of the elite teams in the state of North Carolina.
Yeah.
Over in the South Fork 2A, talking about Bandy's, Lake Norman Charter leads that. 11-1 the conference. East Lincoln 10-2. North and Newton 8-4. This quarter Max Preps. Don't know if that's updated from last night or not.
It is.
Okay. Lincoln at 5-7. Bandy's and Maiden 3-9. West Lincoln 0-12. Lake Norman Charter overall 16-5. East Lincoln 18-4. Last night we had Maiden and East Lincoln on KTC Broadcasting. North Lincoln 13-7. Newton Conover 14-8, Lincoln 9-12, Bandy's 8-14, Maiden 7-15, and West Lincoln 0-22 on the season so far. Over in the Big South, we talked about them a minute ago. Huss 9-1, Kings Mountain 7-3, Crest 7-4, Forest View and Ashbrook 5-5, Kramer 3-7, North Gaston 0-11. Overall, Huss 18-4. Overall, North Gaston does have 2 wins out of conference. Bessemer City, I clicked on the Y, I just read it. The Southern Piedmont 1A, Bessemer's in second. Now that I mentioned them, Lincoln Charter first, 10-0, 20-2 overall. Bessemer City 7-4, 14-5 overall. Cherville 5-4, 15-6 overall. Thomas Jefferson 5-4, 15-5 overall. They end the season against each other next week. Christ the King 5-5, 13-8. Highland Tech 2-7, 4-16 overall. They beat Cherville last night by 17, if I'm correct. I thought I heard that at home. Heard it on the radio coming home with Milton and them, 87-70, if I'm correct on that. And then Piedmont Charter 0-10 in the conference, 7-15 overall. Those are the boys' standings. I had the girls up a minute ago, and I lost the page.
Did somebody go down for Cherville, or they just had a bad game?
I think they just had a bad game. All right, so that'll do it here for any other comments on any other things in the local area high school, Terry, on that basketball?
No.
Playoffs are coming up. The regular season ends this next week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll have conference tournaments and then playoffs in the area. So I'm ready for that. Tom, we should have Shelby maybe advancing pretty far, maybe boys, definitely maybe the girls as well. So we'll have somebody to cover on all of our stations here on KTC going forward, and then baseball season will be here in 3 weeks or 4 or 5 weeks, I guess.
No, March 2nd. Opening day is March 2nd. So it's coming up quick.
Major League, or is that high school?
No, high school.
Okay, high school, March 2nd. I think Major League was opening in March.
No, I think it's
I was
April.
off on that one. All right, we'll be back. JP, what you eating in there? You finally found your breakfast. It's like Easter in here. You got to turn your mic on. So what are you eating? Okay, JP.
Nice.
I was wondering why I was so heavy. I was like, dang, what Terry get this boy? All right, JP, good morning to you. Have you had a good week? All right. Are you working on Space Force names for me? All right, we'll be back in a minute. We're going to talk about that at the end of the show on KDCBroadcasting.com. NBA?
Space
Well,
Force.
that is not what we're arguing about in here, JP.
Yeah.
I'll promise you that right this second. Oh, you're still
He's
thinking.
still thinking.
Well, yeah. Well, you've got an hour. Yeah. So you don't, no rush. So we're going to talk before Terry leaves. Terry had a couple news and notes here before me and Hunter get into the fun today.
Okay,
Well,
go ahead.
The only thing I want to say is
Yeah.
ACC basketball. We all knows what the men's is today. That everybody publicizing a great game this evening between Duke and Carolina. That's top of the league against the bottom of the league. So I'm quite sure a lot of people are not going to watch that. But on the women's side, we always talk about North Carolina State. They do lead the ACC women's. They are 22-1 and in first place, ahead of Louisville, who is second. So I just wanted to get that in there for today.
Terry, I got to correct you. You mispronounced something. You do it all the time.
Uh-oh, I mispronounced
22
something.
and
You're 22 in UNC.
Well, we lost to you, but we also come back and beat you. So, I mean,
Your
you know,
record is 22 and UNC.
There you go.
Y'all lose to someone else, I won't be able to say that. But right now, you're 22 and UNC. So, Terry, you didn't say what you wanted to talk about in the break. That's all you said you had. So,
that's all I got.
So
That's
does
all
that
I
mean I
had.
get to let Hunter choose?
Mm.
He gave you the Hunter.
yeah.
Hunter, let's talk basketball.
Hunter,
We can talk basketball.
Yeah, let's do it.
We
you,
can talk.
you sure about
basketball.
that? Terry,
Yeah.
it's the XFL time.
Well, no, we don't want to talk about none of that.
It's
We do
X-
want
I
to
want to talk
that all
about
the time.
the ACC basketball where Carolina
Uh-huh.
is a double-digit
Loss.
underdog
Oh, double digit to
Tonight.
Duke.
against Duke.
Yeah, we weren't even a double digit underdog to Florida State last week. We were only 9.5. It was close.
Yeah, think of that.
close, but
It's the
I
first
mean,
time that they've been, I think, double digits since way back in 2000, 2001
Look, hey,
against Duke
Duke fans
at home.
Duke fans, enjoy it this year. Enjoy it this year. It doesn't happen every year. Enjoy it. You're probably gonna sweep us.
Do you
It's
know
perfectly
Roy
fine.
Williams has only been a underdog? This will be number 8, but 7 times in his history at Carolina being an underdog,
against
and he is 2
against
and
Duke?
5.
against Duke?
No, not
Or
total.
just-
Do it. He lost to Duke a few times. He beat Duke once. He's lost to Virginia. He's lost to Florida State, but he's like 2 and 5, and when he's an underdog at home.
Yeah, it's gonna be 2 and 6.
I don't know about Terry's.
Oh, at home.
I
At
know, I'm
home.
fuzzy
thought
stats over here.
I thought it was
I know, I'm
overall.
sure.
I know
I'm
I'm
I know.
positive.
He's positive. He's pulling his notes
That's
out.
exactly right. I'm
He's
positive.
pulling his notes.
Home underdog Roy Williams at Chapel Hill.
Mm-hmm.
In 2003 and
underdog, here
4,
we
he lost to Duke. 2005 and 6, he lost to Duke. He lost to Duke again. Then he lost in 2009-10 to Florida State. He beat Kentucky there in 2010 and 11. He beat Duke there in 2013 and 14. And then he lost to Virginia in 2014 and 15. Roy Williams, as a home underdog, is 2 and 5 all time at Chapel Hill.
Did you see that little picture on the side of that page?
I got all your stats.
Terry
in there.
or Kevin,
Mm.
the one with like Dickie V. It says the
Yeah.
reason why North Carolina's record means nothing in this Duke North Carolina matchup, and I'm thinking it means everything. It means everything.
This is the 152nd meeting with at least one team being ranked all time. 152 meetings. That's great. UNC leads the all-time series 139 to 112.
Not a robbery.
Home underdog for the first time in 5 years.
Not a rivalry.
Not a
Terry.
rivalry.
Not a
Williams.
rivalry, Terry.
Not
We're
a
about
rivalry.
20-something games on it.
Not a robbery.
UNC double-digit underdog at home since they played Duke way back in 2001 and 2. So I'm giving you some stats, y'all, and these are facts. These are not think
Fake
so.
news. Fake
you know.
news.
Terry's
When-
got his CNN credentials.
That's what I'm
somewhere.
saying. When Mike Krzyzewski first came out, I didn't know. You know, you would think about it because I remember when we was all trying to think about how you spelt Krzyzewski, and everybody said, "The heck with that, just call him Coach K."
Okay.
No, you can't spell Krzyzewski without the word cry.
You know, but NCAA was only had
Huh?
48
Huh?
teams
Mhm.
in it when he first came in.
Krzyzewski.
He's in his 40th season, so that lets me know how old I am. At Duke, out of 45, and he's got 1,151 games that he's won, which is all-time wins. So, for Carolina.
I can't wait to
I
see
said last
half
week-
of those taken away due to payments.
You would be 10-13. You're on the verge of being 10-13.
Oh, it's a bad season, Terry. I agree. It's a bad season. You cannot win a basketball game playing hero ball with one person.
Well, I sent out a text last week after I watched them play Boston College, and I sent it out to everybody. You cannot be North Carolina State and Dennis Smith. And that's what you are right now. I'm sorry, Carolina fans. You might be mad at me, but you are. When it's Cole Anthony come back, the other guys quit. Because
Oh,
it's
I
all
agree.
about Cole.
I don't-
Last week against Boston College, he was the one against Florida State. He was the one taking the shots. He
Did I-
brought it down. He took the shots.
Yeah, I know. Did I say this last Saturday or did I say this week on the podcast? See if you guys remember. I said I think it would be smart if Roy Williams put Cole Anthony on minutes restriction to force the other guys on the court to learn to play basketball without having to. He's a crutch. They know he can go out there and get 20 points on his own, but they're using him as a crutch to get 20 plus, to get more. They don't have to pick up the slack.
Well,
North
don't-
Carolina State ended up with a losing season with Dennis Smith, and Carolina's seeing the same thing. Carolina, I got them finishing, and quote me as I'm sitting here right now.
Shoot first point guards.
Yep, Carolina will be 14-17 at the end of the season. They will win some, and I even got them beating State again. They'll beat State.
Fire the coach.
You know what I'm saying? But they're going to be
Do it.
14-17 when this season ends, and whatever, we're 10-12 right now. So I got them winning 4 more games out of the last 9. And I think, then you're not even thinking NIT's not thinking about you, NCAA's forgotten you. But you might get in one of them other kind of bowls if you elect to go to the CIT or something like that, CBA,
If
whatever.
the coach
tournaments.
says he doesn't have good players and he's the one that recruited them and he has a losing record with them, I mean, that's not. If it is name any other name besides Roy Williams, that coach is fired at the end of the season.
If it's a historic program like North Carolina, that probably.
If you
we don't like it.
3
The
NBA
standard is
top,
not losing.
If you have 3 NBA top 10 picks and can't make a Final Four, should you be fired?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Well,
time to get rid of these coaches like Roy and Kay, isn't it?
Carolina also has Roy Williams, and people say, well, is he in my top 10 coaches of all time? To me, he is. I don't like him because he turned down Carolina the first time he come. That's what I got against Roy Williams. If he had accepted it then and took the responsibility, but he didn't, and then he come when Matt Doherty had great players, and then he won a championship with them players. I didn't like Roy Williams then, but I'm not a Carolina fan, so I'm speaking from the reverse side. But
Hater.
as far
Just kidding.
no, I'm not really a hater. But if you had put him in my top 10 coaches of all time, I would, because Roy Williams has won 19 games in every season that he's ever coached in basketball. So this
Except
will
this
be
year.
the worst year ever
All right.
for him.
So, math of the day. Now Terry's still here. I don't want you to leave before we get to do some math here, Terry.
This is funny math.
Terry, are you ready? It's bracketology time. Don't look. I don't want you to look at the
Okay.
screen. I'm gonna ask you some questions.
All right.
Bracketology, ESPN. Give me, how many do you think ACC teams are in according to ESPN's bracketology?
If I had to pick now, I say 3.
They have 4.
That's Virginia. That has to be Virginia.
Virginia's out. Yeah, he's the last one in.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go.
Last 4 in Virginia.
And that's terrible for the ACC.
So they don't have State in?
no.
They have them as the first. next
State
4
is
out.
moved up to 63.
They're in the sixth.
RPI
They're
or
sixth
whatever.
place in the out. So it's Memphis, VCU, Minnesota, East Tennessee State are first 4 out. Then the next 4 out: Utah State, NC State, Liberty, and Texas. 4 teams in the ACC. Now here's where we get to have some fun math, Hunter. Terry, how many Big Ten teams are in the tournament according to ESPN?
7 or 8?
You're going to have to pull more than that, because if you're taking so many away, I'm going to say 10.
Tom, 7 or 8?
I'd say 8 probably, because Illinois is having a good year, Iowa's having a good year, Penn
Purdue's
State's having a good year.
According to ESPN,
Michigan's probably right there on a bubble.
11 teams.
Do they really?
Now I'm going to say this out loud for you math
Well,
wizards out
If
there.
you're taking so many away from the ACC, you got to give it to somebody.
Listen to this. 11 teams could make the tournament from the Big Ten. 11 teams from the Big Ten. Now, I don't know what type of education you guys got going on there, Tom. Northwestern brags about what they do all the time, but my goodness, y'all got to fix that.
They won't take away the name. They don't want to take Big Ten. It's just
Big North. There's nothing wrong with a Big North. You
I
have
know, do
14
something.
teams.
Do
Plus
something.
Big North, Maryland's in it.
Yeah,
So,
14 teams.
They're above the Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah.
But Maryland was a Southern
Or
state.
are they the
man.
or are they the Mason-Dixon line? They
mean,
might be.
Boy,
the line.
it's
Maryland,
just Virginia. Virginia.
You know, a
just
history
under.
lesson, Kevin. If you didn't arrest the entire legislature, Maryland would have seceded from the Union.
Right,
So
okay.
It is the Southern state.
Let them do it.
Yeah.
Texas thought about doing it recently. Let them do it.
11 teams from one conference, and the conference is named the Big Ten. That's just funny to me. I just can't.
It is strange.
There's still 2 weeks to go, 3 weeks.
See, but Ohio State really strong. They were near the bottom of the conference. They won 3 in a row, but they've got some tough games coming up. They've got
Explain
Iowa,
to me why the 10th team in any conference should be in the tournament to play in the national championship. In fact, me and Hunter came to a conclusion. We don't think it should be more than the rules should be no more than 8, because if you can't make it to your quarterfinals of your own conference, how do you expect to make it? Past
Well,
that?
the ACC's
The state
down.
should get in.
Is
Well,
the-
that might be your argument, Terry.
Who's going to
State's
get in
number
from
6?
Who's going to get in from the SEC? I mean,
Six, it
Six.
says.
Kentucky, Florida,
yeah, Florida's having a pretty good year.
LSU, Auburn. They're having good years.
Auburn is, yeah, that's right. Auburn's having a
LSU's
pretty
actually
good year.
having surprisingly a very good year in basketball. It's not just football.
And then what about the? We got the ACC Big Ten. What about the Pac-10,
Tell 5.
It
The
says
Pac-12, thank
Pac-12,
you.
Tom,
Pac-12?
and it's
They
5.
changed their name.
It's 5.
You can do the same, Big Ten.
Well,
The Big 14.
Big 4.
I don't
The
like
Big
the Big
16.
Ten with 11 teams, and here's the reason why. State is 15-8, and if you look at the Big Ten, I mean, I was watching Maryland play last night against Illinois. Illinois is like 16-8. I mean, and they probably going to get in. I mean, so they're not much better than North Carolina State. I mean, and then Ohio State's 14-9.
No, they're like 15-7, Terry.
15-7.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's what I'm saying. They're no better than
Barely.
North Carolina State.
They're probably not.
I mean, that's what
they're
I'm saying.
probably
But
not.
they got those teams in. What is it? On account of you playing each other, we can't hurt you, so we won't drop you so far.
It's just perception is reality.
Ohio
It's
State-
perceived that the ACC's not as good.
Ohio
And you're
State is
right.
the 11th team. They're under 500 in their conference. Should that be a rule as well if you can't finish over 500?
I'm telling you,
your conference.
Ohio State very, very well. I mean, they were number 2 in the country at one time.
Y'all
and they
have a
just-
losing record in your conference. You should never get in with a losing record in your conference.
I'm not going to defend
New
him.
rule
I'm,
from
I'm
Terry.
just not going to defend him right
New
now.
rule.
I mean, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it because I'm fine with
They're 5-6. State's 6-6. At least you're 500. You got to get to 500. If you're not at least 500 in a top-notch conference, you don't deserve to be in.
Because I'm fine with smaller conferences getting their bids. At least not just like their automatic bid for winning the tournament. Maybe the second place team can get in.
Does Ohio State deserve to be in more than the Georgia State Panthers, who are in second place in the Sun Belt?
I agree.
What?
They are. I want to tell you something. Wait a minute. I want to
Wait,
tell you
wait,
something.
what do you mean you agree that Ohio State needs
I
to
said-
get in, or does
I
Georgia
said
State?
They
need
would
to-
be in before that happens.
Who? Ohio State?
Here's my deal with these other conferences, and you go look. There are some conferences that some of these teams are gun. I looked at one conference, and the number one team in that conference RPI was 151. And if they win it, they're going to get in. Or if somebody else knocks them out, that team's going to get in, and their RPI is worse than 151.
Well, why don't y'all go play them, Terry?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, we could, and we would trounce them teams,
No.
but yet they're going to get in.
I don't know. I think State, if they can get a couple more quality wins, Terry,
Gotta
I
beat
think-
Syracuse
I think,
Tuesday.
yeah, I think they'll.
That would be a big win.
Listen,
They beat Miami. Of course, everybody beats Miami.
Everybody.
as a Tar Heels fan, I don't care. I would say I wouldn't want to be in as a 10th seed and be hey, we made the tournament. Yeah, we're gonna get beat. The purpose of the tournament is to win the tournament, and I know, and that's the way I'm looking.
See,
at
I
it.
don't understand how they have the Liberty Flames on that. What, the outside looking in?
They got 2 from the Atlantic 10.
Yeah, look
That's
at
the
that.
Atlantic
The
Sun. Where's
Liberty
the
Flames, they are
Atlantic 10?
22-3. How are they part of one of the last 4? They're in the same bracket that you're in, that they had you in. Last 4, or was it last 4 out, first 4 out, whatever. It's like how was that they're leading their conference at what 8-1 or something, 8-2, and they've only lost 3 games on the season. How? How can they not be in conversation to making the big dance?
They got 2 in the
Okay.
8. They got 2 from the
I mean,
A10.
what, because think about what else are they supposed to do besides win?
Play us.
Oh God!
If we played Liberty, we beat them by 15 or 20.
Dayton.
At least.
Probably.
At
Now,
least.
What if Roy Williams was coaching Liberty? At
This
NC
year,
State.
he wouldn't have too much of a
At
chance.
NC State. At NC State.
That's his second home. So
Well, that's what they
PNC.
say.
Dayton's ranked 6th in the nation at 20-2 in the A10. The bracketology says 2 teams. I'm guessing Rhode Island is the next one in that bracketology. Yep, and they're barely in. They even get a bye.
barely in their
They have to
17-5.
play in the playing game. So the A10 getting no respect from anybody other than Dayton, and they're 6th in the nation at 20-2. Duquesne, VCU, who's made a run, St. Bonaventure, Richmond, St. Louis, and Davidson. Of course, in that conference for you, Davidson
That conference right
fans out
there is scary because any of them teams can
Any
beat
of them.
anybody
Any
from
of 'em.
any.
And they're not letting anybody in.
Big
the
St.
tournament.
St.
Five
Louis.
conference.
St. Louis can beat anybody. St. Bonaventure, VCU. They
Rhode
can,
Island.
Those
I mean,
are,
all of
because
those
those are
teams
names.
have done it before.
They're
When-
letting
when-
Ohio State buy their way in.
When you get into bracketology and you start doing, when you start filling out your bracket, if you see any of those names from that conference, you're like, dude, this is an upset waiting to happen.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they're just so slept on. UMBC, they had their run, and now they're not even really doing anything in their own conference. Sad.
No,
State's what, 6th?
State 6 in the ACC.
Yeah, sixth.
Syracuse is
There
5th.
you
You
go.
don't think Syracuse should be in the tournament over the 11th place Ohio State Buckeyes?
Sometimes the ACC, when you watch games, and I'm going to put it, it's like playing Syracuse. It's all about a whole different style of game. When you play Virginia, it's all about playing a whole different style of game. And you wonder how them teams make it in anyway.
Doesn't Syracuse always get in and people get mad about it?
Well,
Don't
No,
they
it's
always
like
squeak
Syracuse
in?
always gets in they always get in for
you
some
just
reason.
Bayheim.
Syracuse is one of those
His
guys
son's
you've
pretty
got
good.
to have a consistent scorer from the free throw line. Somebody that can just pop in that middle from the free throw line and nail that shot all the time. Because they're going to play that daggum 3-2 or 2-1-2 or a 2-3 zone, and they're going to be stuck. And then that spot right in there is your main part. But you just got to have somebody that can consistently hit that shot.
Here's what's so weird to me is, because you don't get to see a lot of the games that are on the West Coast over here, we're obviously all getting ready to go to bed by the time they're starting to play their basketball games. The West Coast, I know the West Coast has Gonzaga in it. I couldn't tell you really who the favorite is to win it other than who I've seen in the NCAA. But Gonzaga's been fantastic all year.
all year.
All year. And guess what? I haven't even got to watch them.
Tom, you have a Facebook fan up there if you want to try to read your screen there.
What's it say?
It says, really enjoy the show, Coach Sinfani.
Oh, right. Who is that?
Jim.
I was hoping you could-
Press, is
Oh,
that-
Prevost.
There you go.
Oh, I
There you
know
go.
Coach Prevost.
There
Coach
you go.
Prevost was a long-time athletic trainer at Birds, and then he went to Shelby. He's currently retired. Coach Prevost, hope you're feeling well. I haven't seen you in a while. Saw him in the mall not too long ago. Talked to him for a little while. But thanks for listening, Coach. Yeah, great guy. Great
He's
wrestling coach
watching.
and all that.
He's
he is.
watching.
He is.
Yes.
All right.
So
There you go.
somebody, you
Thanks
feel
for
like
watching, Coach
somebody's
Prevost.
watching you.
I don't know. You gotta have some bad vision to want to watch me on television. I'll
Do
say
we
that.
need to reduce the resolution?
We need to reduce the resolution. Kind of pixelate my face. a
Yeah,
little
turn the bit rate down. Everything. Just turn it
I
all down.
figured
Have to have
usually,
makeup artists
usually
in
when
here
Kevin
as we
says
come in.
that, it's somebody going to like Matt Beam was making fun of my picture in the What's Up Shopper. He goes, "That's a great picture, you Tom." I guess because I had my usual scowl.
Don't
on my
you let
face
them
right
be
there.
mean to you.
I
Tom.
know. I'm not gonna let them be mean to me.
If
but
Tom, just tell Matt when you wake up in the morning and look in the mirror, you're not thinking, "Man, I wonder what Matt thinks I look like today."
that's what I sometimes I do.
Oh man.
But you guys are talking about all this stuff, but you got another 2 weeks. And I was looking at Ohio State's schedule. They've got Illinois, they've got Iowa, they got
that's
Wisconsin
crazy.
3
tomorrow.
weeks.
That's crazy.
You could
March
lo-
is right here.
Yeah, but you
It's
could
crazy.
lose if you lose 2 or 3 of those games.
Yep.
You're not getting
Oh, yeah.
in.
All right,
I
before
mean,
Terry,
Carolina's got 9 games left.
before
it's-
Terry goes, I want to read him some. some
I'll
fun
just say
tweets and
this.
stats
Yeah,
of the
I'll
week.
just say this. But it's sad, like when you come from rooting for a team that has known really a lot of success in basketball, and now it's like this season. It's like I don't have the want to watch because whenever I watch them, I just get angry.
Yeah.
It's like, because this
I
is not
understand
like
that.
Well,
I do
watch-
that quite often.
what I do-
exactly. So I just don't watch.
I'm kind of like
I'll watch like 2 minutes and throw my phone.
Now,
away.
to me, I watch it all the time because I'm proud. That's
no, I
get
get too mad.
get a little busy during the week. Sometimes can't catch the game, but I'll always
Yeah.
watch the highlights. And
Yeah.
when I watch the highlights of Carolina, it's Cole Anthony.
Yeah.
Cole Anthony.
It is.
Cole Anthony. It's like
That's all
Cole
it is.
Anthony. So I was
He's,
thinking,
hey,
you know,
he's trying to get drafted. Can't
yeah, I
blame him,
know.
but
It's really just a Cole Anthony highlight reel.
All right.
They do a lot longer on the NFL. Like NFL, you get like a 10-minute wrap up, but like college basketball, only get a minute and a half. So it is.
Yeah,
Cole.
they just
Go ahead,
go
Kevin.
fast.
I know it's cut you off. Go ahead.
Terry, I got some fun news and notes for you before you get. I know you got to go soon.
I am.
Cowboys last 10 draft picks, first round draft picks, have been used for the following players: 7 All Pros, one four-time Pro Bowler, 1 Super Bowl champion in the last 10-year draft, and 1 taco. Is that right?
Okay. Yes.
Kansas City total arrest from the parade for 5-2 from the police pursuit down the middle of the parade. If you saw that, one was on a horse, one was at the Union Station, and one drunk guy with his pants down. He fell out of the tree. Did y'all see
Did you
that?
that
one?
video?
Did
That
y'all
video's
see that one, Terry?
hilarious.
This was
I did
where
not
now?
see
At
that.
the
Kansas
Kansas
City
City's
parade.
celebration.
Celebration.
Kansas City's still a
Congratulations to
fine
them.
town. It's a
Th-
fine town.
There was a fairly inebriated fella trying
In
to
a
climb a
tree,
tree
with
and
his pants
and his
around
pants
his
had
knees.
come down, or his butt was hanging out, and he tried to leap from one limb to the other.
Man. He eats it,
Oh,
man.
He thought he
Had a
was
little too much,
Yeah.
a little too much liquid courage. huh?
Hey, man, that's
Hey,
funny.
if he didn't, I don't think he could have made that leap. Like,
No.
that was
a squirrel.
like that.
Squirrel.
That's his name. All right, in 15 seasons, Aaron Rodgers has thrown 84 picks. Jameis Winston in 5 has thrown 88. Andre said, "Whoa, that's good. He threw 30 this year. That means he's only threw 58 in 4 years." Terry, is that good or bad?
Well, I guess. I mean, Andre's a fan.
He said, on the average, it ain't that bad.
Hey, in the words of James Winston, he's balling. He's balling.
Yeah,
Look
Look
taking more
at his
risks.
check his numbers. He's balling.
is that what he said? Check my number.
He's taking more risks.
Hey, that's okay. He's not discount check down.
All right, Terry. The tweet of the night. Tweet of the night goes to your hero, Johnny Manziel. You
Yeah.
ready?
He's a
I
great-
love some Johnny.
If I never pick up a ball again, it's all love. You ready for this next sentence? Have you seen this, Hunter?
No, but
All
I
right,
do
here we
follow
go.
him on
Here we
Twitter.
go. I was the most lit, most relatable college football player to ever do it.
Probably was.
Now,
probably
he
was.
probably was. He probably
He
was.
probably
To ever do
things-
what?
Yeah, did things my way
Yeah.
and made it further than I ever could have imagined. The game gave me life, and I'll forever be grateful. And then the replies and him replying to people with was just, it gets bad from there.
Now, let me tell you something.
But I was wondering what you thought
Johnny.
about. I was the most lit, most relatable quarterback.
Oh, he was, man. He threw out the money symbol. I loved Johnny Manziel. Like I did not
Oh,
think he would
God.
play out in the pros. I told my buddies, I said he will not play out in the pros. But what he's doing right now in college, it is so fun to watch. It's just fun to watch.
Well, he was one of the guys when he first come in. I said 5 years or less, and it never lasted 5.
No.
I thought he would at least be a starter. I didn't. Well, I never saw
remember-
a Super Bowl.
Terry, I got 3 more notes for you real quick. I'm trying
I'm
to rush
getting
Terry.
ready to
Terry's
go.
got to
Go
go,
ahead,
y'all.
go
Real quick, Babe Ruth's 125th birthday was yesterday.
Saw all that.
If Babe Ruth were resurrected today and played the next 3 seasons and struck out every time, 1,500 straight strikeouts, he would still have a better slugging percentage than Mike Trout. What do you think about that, Terry?
Sounds like a winner.
Good
if
ball
you got
player,
all
huh?
that figured out.
Sounds like a winner.
Stan Musial could resurrect and go 0 for 928. That's 2 seasons. 920 straight strikeouts and still have a better batting average than Mike Trout. These old players pretty good back in the day,
Yes, they were.
weren't they? Terry, true or false? No, I'm back up. Will Matt Moore have more Super Bowls than Cam Newton when they both retire?
Yes. True.
See, that's what's so funny. man. That's what's so funny. I saw a Panther fan talk about. Do you remember when we had Butker, or it was
Yeah.
like the kicker for the Panthers? I really wanted to be like, do you remember when you had Matt Moore? And then he went to Miami, and now he's got a Super Bowl ring in Kansas City.
Terry, yes or no, before you leave, do you want Tom Brady to be the Dallas Cowboys quarterback next year?
We'll take him today.
Oh!
There you go.
So Terry's finally ready to get rid of Dak Prescott. You heard that first here on KTC.
He doesn't want to pay him all that money. I don't blame him.
Don't want to do it.
I've told y'all, $23 million is where he should stop, and that should be enough. That's the Tom Brady era.
He's asking for 38.
I know that's way too much. I'm sorry, y'all, but
Would you rather give to Brady 30 or Dak Brady 30 for 2 years or Dak 38 over 40 million over 5, basically 200 million for 5 years?
I'd take Tom Brady right now, and let's go win a Super Bowl this
There
coming
you
year.
go. All right, so
Hey,
I didn't think that's
Jerry
what Terry
Jones
was gonna
said
do.
if he knew the number that it
Right.
would take to buy a Super Bowl, he'd pay it.
Yep.
JP, let's go to a break. We come back. We're going to talk football here. KTCBroadcasting.com.
Football. refereeing.
Terry left the building. He said he's had enough of JT's junk.
JT.
JT. Did I say T and not P? It's a
Wow.
letter. I got your first letter right.
Wow. Oh my word. He's on a first name basis with you. That's it. Sad. John.
Okay, I'm just going to lose all kinds of sleep over this. All right, good. Welcome everybody back to Saturday Sports Talk. Kevin Hastings along with Hunter Yancey and Tom Senefani. No more Terry. We ran him out. We were heading into the quarterback talks. I can't wait till things start moving. And I want there to be 15 changes so we can talk about all the new teams. And Tom, Hunter and I was looking the other day at the AFC. And almost every team that didn't make the playoff, we counted up to 10 teams, including 2 in the playoffs, could possibly have a different quarterback next year. We could possibly have 10 out of 16 playoff teams with a new quarterback next year. So going forward with that, we'll probably be disappointed and only have like 3 moves is what we'll have.
Oh yeah, what? On the podcast this week, I only had like a few people moving. I was like,
we had anywhere from 3 to 16 different new quarterbacks in the league.
I think eventually, all the talk about Dak Prescott, and I guess the big thing was he basically said, "Hey, print this. I'm not coming to training camp if you don't pay me."
Right.
I don't blame him.
Which I don't blame him either. And you might say, well, and I know that Kevin can rattle off some comparison stats with Tony Romo. But
if Zeke can do it, why can't he do it?
But what I'm saying is, if you get rid of Prescott, you might say, well, you might bring Brady and whatever. But if you've got a guy that can perform, it's so hard to find a quarterback. You better give him his money.
But this year, Tom, this is where Dallas has got him by. Dallas has got the leverage here now. We just said there could be 15 available different quarterbacks.
Yeah, but you don't know if it's going to work.
What you just said, and you're right. What you just said was that usually it's so hard to find another quarterback. Now Jerry Jones can call Dak's agent and be like, I could call Tom Brady and give him 35. I could call Teddy Bridgewater and get the same thing for $10 million less. I could call, how about a second round pick for Cam Newton? They could make those threats. Not that they would do it, but I'm saying Dallas is in leverage. If that's the game he's playing, what we're kind of talking about in the break was, has Jerry been slow playing the Brady situation this whole time? Why else would he not just either give him the money and then you're arguing over $5 million a year, 10 basically, or did he have something else up his sleeve to begin with when this season when Brady kind of knew he wasn't coming back to begin with? Now, is this a Jerry Jones under the table power move for Brady? Do you really see Brady being an LA Charger?
He's gonna go somewhere where he knows he can win if he goes anywhere.
Right.
He said he's not done, so he's going somewhere.
He has to.
The crazier one to me was Brady to San Francisco. That one just seems crazy to me. But they're talking like that might be a real thing.
San Francisco, the way they do their contracts is they end 2 weeks into free agency. So Garoppolo will be actually a free. They can either the first 2 weeks they could sign. They could be like, well, we'll sign Brady, and then 2 weeks later they just release Garoppolo, and they don't owe him any money right now.
Garoppolo's contract is up in April.
Yeah. So the way they did it is,
and I want
the way
you to think
they do all their contracts like that, so they can attack free agency how they want and then release whatever. So the 49ers definitely could sign Brady, Breeze, anybody else in the first 2 weeks, and then release Garoppolo.
But why?
Garoppolo has officially only played one full season in the NFL, and that was this past season.
And he made it to the
Super Bowl. I can agree with that. To me, I don't think Garoppolo was the problem with the 49ers. They just, it's the opportunity, just to stir up.
There was no problem. They should have won the
game.
They should have won the game. They should be Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, to stir up conversation, they're just going to be like, well, there's an opportunity we can get Tom Brady. But they won't move off of Garoppolo because they don't have a backup plan when he finally retires. At least with Garoppolo, you have kind of a plan for the future, and you can make multiple Super Bowl runs, hopefully, in maybe a 10-year career for Garoppolo.
Well, the only place I see getting to Tom Brady is if you don't have anybody right now. Like if you're Dallas, if you get Brady, then Prescott is gone, and then you're back to square one in a year or two. Same thing with San Francisco. So, I mean, I don't know if I would hedge my bets on a guy who's 42 years old.
How about this, Tom? And you said, let's say Brady played 2 years in Dallas. Well, then that would mean it would be Dak's 7th year. Would you want to be paying Dak in his 7th year $40 million when you could draft a quarterback and pay him $600,000?
Yeah, but you don't know if that's going to work.
You don't know if Dak's going to tear his ACL in the next 3 years.
But I think
Here's
the likelihood of
Here's
him
the
tearing
problem.
his ACL is less than
Right.
getting somebody.
But Jerry
who's
Jones
gonna
might die
really,
in the next 2 years.
What
Tom.
the real problem?
There's a
is true.
lot of
Yeah, that's
variables.
true.
What the real problem is here is
Sorry,
that
Jerry,
every
I'm saying.
year it feels like when a quarterback contract comes up, they feel like they have to reset the market. And the only one
That's
that
the
really,
agents and
the only one that really deserves to reset the market right now is Patrick Mahomes.
I would say so.
So Mahomes is possibly going to get a $40 million contract, if not more. Dead serious.
They're going to raise the cap too in the next
Yeah,
couple of years.
they've
so
raised that,
that's-
too.
Yeah, so that's going to be an
Yeah,
issue.
and
as
so
well.
if you're Jerry Jones, you have to look at it like this. Is Dak Prescott the equivalent of Patrick Mahomes? No. Statistically, Patrick Mahomes had a down season this year if you compare him to Dak. Patrick Mahomes also missed 3 to 4 weeks of football as well, but was able to come back and lead his team to a Super Bowl. And I know, I mean, they say defense wins championships, which I can agree, and Kansas City's defense showed up when it needed to against the 49ers, but Patrick Mahomes won. I'll give him that. He won him that football game
well, I guess
with plays that he made.
the argument could be that Jerry's good with money and bad with everything else. So,
No, the thing that you can say is Jerry is a master negotiator.
negotiator. Yeah,
So he's going to try and pull out all the stops. If if it really is true, he would like to have
I
Tom
would say-
Brady in Dallas.
I would say I would.
And
You-
here's the
you-
thing, too. Even if you don't win the Super Bowl, you know what kind of PR stunt this is?
Yeah.
If you bring Tom Brady in, how much money you're going to make off of Tom Brady Cowboy jerseys?
Has he not got enough money?
Well, there's a serious issue with that. Do you let him wear 12?
That's Roger
Gosh.
Staubach's number. You
They
can't
don't.
do that.
Dallas doesn't retire numbers. First of all, so the numbers aren't retired. But do you let him wear 12?
Why not? If
Yes.
the number's not retired, then that's the whole point
Yes.
of it, right?
You're right on that sense. Is the point is to honor the greats, but that's Roger Staubach. That you will have Cowboy fans, Tom, protesting that one right there.
Well, here-
They'll say he could be 13.
No.
Is what they'll say.
What did
and
he
then,
wear in
and then you
college?
ask me.
Who, Brady?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I think he wore 12.
Was he 12?
Was
in
it
college?
He was
12
in
in
Michigan,
college?
so
Yeah.
all I know is if you're asking me, Brady's more deserving of 12 than Staubach is.
Yeah.
You're
but
talking about a
I'm-
6-time Super
Nobody's
Bowl
asking
champion.
you, Redskin fan.
I'm just saying, look, whether like on any other team, if you wear the number 12 and you pull 12 out,
he
it's
didn't win a
Tom
game with
Brady.
a star on his helmet
You
yet.
see that what I would say is
I'm sorry, he's
where-
got 6 rings he can't hear you through.
where I think would be better would be Indianapolis or Tennessee because both of them got quarterbacks that you can move off.
They got
of.
good run games.
Right. So where San Francisco and Dallas, you already have good. If I was San Francisco and Dallas, I would re-sign those guys. I mean, I would not be in the Tom Brady sweepstakes right now.
I'll re-sign
would-
Garoppolo. I'll franchise tag Dak.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, but but what I'm saying is, you've got what you need there
Yeah.
if you can work it out. The Tennessee's not going to stay with Tannehill. I mean, could you imagine Tom Brady with that
He
running
took
game?
him to an AFC championship
No,
game.
Derrick Henry and the defense.
While
took
we're
him
there,
to
is
that.
Tennessee the best spot? I know it's not. It's the Panthers' decision.
Tech.
If you're Cam Newton, is that where you would want to be?
Well,
He said he would accept a trade
No.
to Chicago as well. And this weekend, everybody's getting mad on Panthers Twitter about because Cam said he expects to be back, but that's not the Panthers saying they expect to be back.
That's
the Panthers
Cam.
came out and said that they or Ian Rappaport yesterday said that we won't know anything until he's fully healthy. Well, then that just means they're waiting for him to be healthy to trade him. Or you could say, because wouldn't you just say, we have a great quarterback room. We have Cam
Yeah,
Newton,
and,
Kyle Allen, and Will Greer.
and the
Cam will be ready by healthy.
Panthers aren't
training
going to
camp.
do
We're ready
anything
to rock.
yet. Panthers aren't going to do anything yet because they're like Washington right now. They still have not filled their general manager position. Both of them are still without
Hurney's
a
still
general
there.
manager
Marty Hurney's still running the show right now
as of right now.
for the Panthers.
see, but what I don't get is if you move on from Newton, where do you go? You're not going to go with Kyle Allen. You're not.
First of all, why? What is wrong with Kyle Allen?
They're going to go
I
with
saw
Kyle
him
Allen
throw
or
4
Will Greer.
interceptions in the game. That
All
I
right, Tom.
watched.
They're going
In
with one of those
Cam's
two.
rookie year, he went 6-10. Kyle Allen right now is 6-8.
I mean, I don't think he's
Why
horrible. I
when
just
you look
don't
at those
think you're
two
gonna go with
things,
him.
you say we're going to keep that guy we're going to keep the 6 and 10 guy for 8 years, but the 6 and 8 guy is awful.
Yeah, but there's a lot of
And
other factors.
yes, the other factor is Kyle Allen's defense this year was ranked 31st. Cam Newton never had a winning season without a top 10 defense, Tom. Kyle Allen, what would their record been with Cam as the 31st defense? He still would have had a losing
I
record.
had 31st defense because that team quit, Kevin. I'm going to just tell you, they quit.
Right, the
quit.
concussion field middle linebacker was giving up the most rushing yards in the NFL.
Well, I don't blame him. I don't want to live the rest of my life with CTE either. I would kind of pack it in too. I don't blame him at that point. But what I'm saying is
They've got lots of options. I think lots
their-
of these teams have lots of
Yeah,
options.
they may go get somebody else, but I mean, is it really going to be? Or I don't know. I mean, you can't say, well, we're just going to bring in a guy who's not been with our team and it's automatically going to work out. You just never know that. I would take a chance on him and keep him there. I mean, judging your other two options at quarterback right now, but depends on what you can get for him in a trade. I mean,
Well,
you might
here's
be
the
able to
thing.
get something stupid for him in a trade.
But if you can move off, if you keep him and you actually, are just 500 or 2 below 500, that takes you out of Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields range. And so if you're not committed to Cam now, what makes you think they're going to be committed to him at the end of another season where they can't even get a quarterback to replace him?
Cam's rookie year, he had 6 wins with a 27th ranked defense. Kyle Allen, 6 wins with a 31st. The next year with the 18th best defense, he only had 7 wins. 2014 with a 21st ranked defense, 5 wins. And 2016 with the 26th best defense, he had 6 wins.
but he has taken them to the Super Bowl, Kevin.
That's cute. Where do you rank Rex Grossman on the greatest quarterbacks of all time? Where do you rank Trent Dilfer?
I'm just saying
on the greatest
Kevin,
quarterbacks
just
of all
saying,
time.
Kevin. They were 15-1 and made a Super Bowl.
Is Nick Foles better than Cam Newton?
He is not. I don't think so.
Well, he won a Super Bowl
Yeah.
and a Super Bowl MVP.
I'm
so
not
there
saying
goes
that
that
makes it the
argument.
best. I'm not.
You
I'm
just
saying,
said Cam's great. Cam's great because he made the Super Bowl.
I'm just saying that he is. He's
you know,
got that resume.
Kaepernick's
He's part
got
of
more
his
playoff
resume.
wins than Cam Newton, and he hadn't played in 4 years. Did you know
You were
that?
just such a hater of Cam Newton.
I'm
It's
just stating
unreal.
facts. I'm just stating facts.
all I'm
Did you know
trying
Andy
to
Dalton
say-
was drafted in the same draft and has more wins than Cam Newton?
All I'm saying
Did you know
is
Andy
what's their
Dalton has 5 winning seasons and Cam has 3?
I mean,
They could sign Andy Dalton and be better, right? Why shouldn't they
Just-
sign Andy Dalton?
it's a lateral move.
Andy
lateral
Dalton,
move.
Andy Dalton has 5 winning seasons. 4 of them are 10-win seasons.
Right. Cam don't have 4 10-win seasons. He's only got 3 total winning seasons.
I try to stick up for the home team franchises here, and you guys just never. The Hornets
mean,
and the
We
Panthers.
can't have it. We
Poor,
can't have it.
Listen,
poor Hornets and
I'm just-
Panthers
I'm
can't
just
get any
naming-
love on this program.
Well, I was trying to give Kyle Allen love, and nobody wanted to give him. He's awful.
I'm not
Same wins under
I'm
the same
just- I'm just
situation.
saying,
I'll
they're not
sit-
going to
I
stay
mean,
with
I'll
Cal.
sit
They're
here.
not- they're
I'll
not gonna
give
go
I'll
with
give
Cal
the
Allen.
Panthers some love real quick. I think Christian McCaffrey was gypped of Offensive Player of the Year.
Hey, how
It's
about
tough to go 1,000. I don't care how much
Yeah,
your
it
usage
is.
rate is. Like it's
I
tough
hope-
to go
Who's the last
1,000,
guy to do
1,000.
it?
I don't know what he's one of 3.
I hope Kyle Allen.
Roger Craig did it, right?
I hope
Roger-
Kyle Allen goes to Marshall Falk was last. I hope
Oh,
Kyle
okay.
Allen, or it might have been Falk. No, LT.
LaDainian Thomas.
Yeah.
I hope Kyle Allen goes to either Tampa and just lights up the Panthers, or Tennessee and wins the Super Bowl. Those are my 2 spots for Kyle Allen.
Kyle
Kyle Allen
Allen.
are better around Ryan Tannehill.
Kyle Allen might be Ryan Tannehill. He might just be Ryan Tannehill.
He might.
Leaning on the run. I mean, you never know. You never know. I mean, he was undrafted. He's only played, like you said, enough games, not really to make a full season. So
True. All right, Tom. True or false? You ready? No. Tom hates.
You-
Tom hates it. But
I hate this game.
would the Panthers have the same number of Super Bowls if Tim Tebow or Armani Edwards was the quarterback the last 10 years?
Yes,
Okay.
Kevin. True.
Okay.
Yes. You always. It's a loaded question. Why do we? It's not even a game. It's a loaded question. You get to pick the question, then you ask, and you make me answer.
What's wrong
true.
with true or false?
I mean, it's just kind of it's stupid. That's what's wrong with it. Okay, play a new game.
play a
Just
new
come up
game.
with a new game anyway. But what I was
Oh,
trying to
God.
say is, why not? They say Indianapolis could be another place where Brady could end up,
Mhm.
but he won't play in Peyton's house. That's the thing. There's a statue of Peyton Manning outside.
Do they actually have a statue?
Yeah.
Did they?
But I don't see what the. Oh, who cares?
Well, I mean, he kind of holds Peyton in high regard, so I could understand him not wanting.
I mean,
to
it's
go.
not like you have to go and like kneel before it. And,
If you're
and
going
meditate.
to Indy, you're going to play football. If you're going to Dallas, you're going for more reasons than football. You're going for history and Super Bowl. If you're going to L.A., you're going for commercials. If you're going to Vegas, you're going to have fun.
You're going to L.A.
Like,
you're going to play for
what's
2
Brady?
years and
What's
retire.
Brady
Yeah.
trying to do in all that?
Whoa,
Does his
whoa.
wife involved in
I'm
all
about
that?
to say, what does Giselle have to
Right.
say? in
Is
this?
his wife involved in all that
She's a
decision on that?
supermodel. She honestly, like, I'm not just saying this to say it. Like, she for real is the breadwinner. She makes more money than he does.
I'm pretty sure that both of them are bringing home some loaves of bread.
Oh, they
but-
are. They are. Here's the thing. I think she'll have a little. I think
few.
she'll
Just a
have a
few.
little bit of say so, because I'm not sure her brand of clothing, and her lifestyle really fits Indianapolis. Indiana.
It doesn't matter. It's temporary. She's not gonna be there long.
Temporary.
Tom,
but
still,
21.
still possibly 2 to 3 years.
But before you say that, Tennessee, his old coach Vrabel's there. It seems to work.
I think that'd be a great match.
That seems to work. But you know what they say? It's not a big enough brand for Tom Brady. Like you're saying, it's his wife
well,
would be bored.
I'm
Hey,
not. No,
hey.
I think Nashville's
Nashville's
bigger
a really cool
Nashville's
place.
bigger than
Nashville's a cool
Indianapolis.
place.
CMT could get them a reality show.
Oh God, yeah, they give
Giselle
anybody-
and Tom wearing UGG boots on CMT.
Like,
What do you
I'm
think?
fine with that.
What do you
Look,
think?
to me, Tom, I'll be honest. Nashville seems like more of a spot than Indianapolis does. It just does. And for both Giselle and Brady mostly because he's not going to be asked to do too much in Tennessee because he's got the bell cow behind him. He's got Derrick Henry if he doesn't want to throw the ball 20
they
times.
had a good receiver too.
A.J. Brown.
Yeah. So
He's
I mean,
a rookie.
yeah,
Rookie.
yeah. So when I watched them play, I knew they had that one good receiver too.
He's a
So I
rookie.
mean, and their defense is really good. And Vrabel's doing a great job. Of course, we know what produced him, right? What university produced Mr. Vrabel? That'd be the Ohio State University.
Yeah, he doesn't play quarterback, so I'm not surprised he's a pretty good. I'm not
You're
surprised
funny.
he's a good player.
You're a funny guy. You're a funny guy.
You guys got some good players as long as they don't throw the ball.
You got some good players. You got 10 going to the combine, Kevin. So
Right.
how about count them up? 10 Ohio State players.
Yeah, and the
at
one guy
combine.
y'all cut and ran off the field is going to be the number one pick at quarterback.
We didn't run him off the field. We didn't cut him.
Let me tell you something. You know who's got the most at the combine?
Who's that?
LSU.
Do they really?
They have, I think, 13 or
13.
15.
Hey, we're going
Pretty
to
good
talk
team.
Ohio State quarterbacks when we come back in just a moment in the XFL. Real quick,
Cardell Jones.
21 is the magic number, Tom.
21 what?
21 quarterbacks in the NFL have won a playoff game since Cam Newton last won a playoff game.
He's got a whole notepad. Don't let him bring it
I know.
out.
21 other quarterbacks have won a playoff game since Cam Newton last won a playoff game. 11 of them have won multiple playoff games since Cam Newton last won a
If
playoff
they
game.
had somebody in free agency, they know that if they can get like a Bridgewater or somebody to come there, yeah, now you can move off of him. But you got to trade him. He's not. He's not going to walk.
What do you think about Cam
Gotta
and
find
the
somebody who wants
first round pick to Cincinnati for the number one overall? Would they take it?
No,
No.
He doesn't fit that offense.
no.
They were
No.
Hunter. They were 2-14 last year. What offense is he not fitting?
The offense Zach Taylor's trying to implement.
I don't know.
If I was
It's a West Coast offense.
if I was
That's-
Burrow, I don't know if I'd want to go to Cincinnati. I might
I know, right?
get the draft and say, hey, trade me.
All right,
Seen it
JP, be
before.
ready. We got to
He's
come
gonna
back.
pull a Manning.
And
Yeah.
we got to come back, finish up with XFL real quick, though. NASCAR starting up this weekend. Speed Weeks, baby, on WCSL 1590 AM. We're going to be having NASCAR coverage starting next week at the Daytona 500 this weekend. Here's the schedule. That was yesterday. We'll go to today's schedule. NASCAR Cup Series practice is today at 11:35. That's the Busch Class practice. Then qualifying for the Menard Series at 12:30. Daytona 500 first practice day, folks. If you want to watch, we'll be on TV on FS1 today. NASCAR Cup Series, Daytona 500 second practice at 3, 1:30 and 3 if you want to watch practices today. And Menard's Lucas Oil 200 driven by General Tire today is at 4:45. Tomorrow, the Daytona 500 qualifying will be at 12:30, and they'll have a press conference post qualifying for everybody. And then the Busch Class is at 3:00 tomorrow, and then we'll advance over to Thursday. We've got the Blue Green Vacation Duels on Thursday evening, And then Friday, the Daytona 500 third practice, the next extra Energy 250, and more practices all day racing. And then, of course, the 500 next week. We're going to talk about that and preview that next weekend on WCSL 92.3 FM, 59 AM. All right, JP, let's take a break. We'll be right back on KTCBroadcasting.com. All right, JP. I need your nominations to get them ready. At 10:12, we're going to get your nominations. We got 5 minutes. We got really behind. We'll do 10-15 nominations, JP. All right, real quick. Tom, today is the beginning of the XFL
Yes.
on ABC. Your
Yes.
name's Hunter. I said Tom.
No, I know, but I'm saying yes.
I'm here too. I'm still here.
That was not Tom saying yes.
Yes. Yes.
XFL today, 2 o'clock, the Seattle Dragons
Mm-hmm.
versus the DC Defenders. At 5 o'clock, the LA Wildcats versus the Houston, is it
Roughneck.
Roughnecks.
Why? Why
What?
would you call them?
Hold on, we got to that yesterday.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Vipers is at the New York
Guardians.
Guardians, and the St. Louis Battlehawks, who Hunter likes, is against the Dallas Renegades. Tom, I this is my number one issue with every single new league that comes out, is that the logos make and teams make no sense in some of the names. My biggest thing ever. Look over here on our magic wall of logos behind Hunter's head, folks. We have a Jaguar, a Raider, a Yellow Jacket, a Spartan, a Mustang, even a Griffon. I know what a Griffon is. Tom, if I say, draw me a picture of a Renegade, what do you draw? If I say, draw me a picture of a Roughneck, I mean, do you want to give people...
What's the Roughneck look? Where's the Roughneck?
It's the Houston Oilers' old logo, basically.
So basically a Roughneck is
We
one who
we
works
still
on
don't-
an oil derrick.
I guess we don't know. We do not know. What's the New York Guardians? But what does a Guardian look like? So that's my issue with logos / team names in all these new leagues. They come out with these abstract names instead of an
That's
actual
what a Renegade
animal.
looks like. He's got a cowboy hat on and
All right, I got a
mask.
slight problem with that. Think about all the teams in Dallas. We can't get like a. Why can't they have one animal or one something in Dallas? You've got the Mavericks, Cowboys.
Maverick can technically be a horse. It can technically be a horse.
Mavericks, Cowboys, and Rangers. We've got Spurs, but what? No, I know the Longhorns are there, but there's no other animal we can name after. The Tampa Bay's the Vipers. There's a lot of. Is Tampa full of Vipers? Is that what you think of when you think of the Tampa Bay Vipers? Is that what's going on? Oh, excuse me, sir. We're live on the air. We're live on the air right now. We are live on the air right now on the radio. Yes. Okay. Okay, well, I'll get with you in just a minute. We're live on the air right now. Okay. We've got the St. Louis Battlehawks at the what I was saying about the Renegade, the abstract names, I don't like them. I wish we would fix them. The Vipers, I don't know about Tampa, Guardians, Wildcats in LA. Like, I can see one of the other teams being the
I
Wildcats.
told you this was the opportunity with the color scheme. LA could have been the fire. You guys are on fire all the time. Why not?
What do you think, Tom?
I think they're just kind of.
I like
cheesy.
I love the Dragons. I've been waiting for a team named the Dragons forever.
I was the Dragons when I was at Crest Middle School.
That is
in
true.
the 80s.
Crest has the Dragons.
I like the
I don't know.
Battlehawks, dude. That name is
The Renegade.
sick.
I think the Renegade's cool. I like the Renegade.
You like the Dallas Renegades?
I like the Dallas.
I actually
Renegade.
don't mind. I just wish it was like I said. It just Dallas has already got those the cowboy logos as well.
Mhm.
All right. So 2:00 and 5:00 today. Tomorrow, 2:00 and 5:00. Tampa at New York, St. Louis, Dallas. Hunter, have you decided on your team?
Yeah, I'm riding high with St. Louis. I'm gonna ride high with the Battlehawks. I like the name and I like the logo a lot. And see, that's all you can go off of right now because I don't know all of the players. All I know is I do know the quarterback. He played at Ole Miss, and I enjoyed watching him at Ole Miss.
My family's going with DC, Cardell Jones.
There you go. Hey, I have no
Alright.
problem with that.
I was wondering about that. So if you folks are betting, Hunter, didn't you say yesterday that
Can you bet on this?
Yes. What do you mean? Can
Yes. They've already
Tom, you
talked-
could bet on it in the
the
stadium.
Tampa Bay
In the
Vipers
stadium.
are over under 7.5 wins already.
Really?
The Seattle Seahawks or the Seattle
wait,
Seahawks,
te-
Seattle
te-
Dragons are 3.5.
Tell him which team is the lowest to win this
Lowest to win is Seattle. They're
year. I
3.5.
thought it was the Roughnecks.
No.
I thought it was the Cardell Jones.
Who's the favorite?
The favorite is the Tampa Bay. They are plus 7.5. It's like over under 7.5.
XFL Betting Central, Tom.
They're only
it's the
10
second
games.
link on their website.
Yeah. They're only 10 games.
Okay.
Championship
All right.
odds and picks.
Yeah.
But who would be a fool to bet on this stuff now? I mean, you
Everyone.
have no idea.
All of them. They're all fools for betting on this.
Listen, hey,
DC
Why
Defenders,
not?
championship odds plus 500.
Yeah, what is a defender? You know what I think of defender? I think of that old 80s video game. Like you get the little spaceship.
The New York Guardians plus
the
430.
defender, I mean, they got a shield is there. Why not, you know?
I mean, what is a
That's just-
battle hawk?
What is not
It's a
battle
sword
hawk?
with wings.
Heck yeah, it is. It's
What
dope.
in the world is that?
It's sick.
All right. Then we got the Tampa Bay Vipers, championships plus 400, Renegades plus 400, Roughnecks plus 900, Wildcats plus 650, 1,200 for the Dragons. We'll go read up the breakdown for the defenders. When you compare the XFL rosters, the defenders look like a value, Tom. Hamilton is an experienced offensive coach who works well with quarterbacks. If he can get Jones to maximize his talent, the defenders will be extremely hard to stop. They have talented receivers, running backs, and strong defensive spine. I don't know what that means. They will need to find a pass rusher, but if they do, they could dominate.
The competition.
There you go, Tommy.
Well,
That's all you needed
that's
to know
me.
about the
DC Defenders, baby.
All right, JP, I'll need your nominations. Our government adding Space Force to the military, and we're looking for names for the servicemen in that. They're actually asking for the public to send in nominations for the name of the servicemen in the military. So, but they didn't want you to use one of the same names like the Army Rangers and Navy SEALs.
If Super Troopers
something
wasn't
like that.
already taken.
How about astronauts?
Is there really a branch
Sure,
called
all right.
the Super
Aren't they
Troopers?
No, it's
astronauts?
not a branch,
Call
but
them
this,
astronauts.
this is
That's what they are,
That's
right?
NASA.
Doesn't matter.
No? What about you think? What do you got, JP? Nominations from JP. All right.
Huh?
Pioneers. Space Pioneers. That's not too bad.
Mhm.
Alien
Nice.
Force.
Nice.
I get it.
Was this like the Peace Corps? Was it created by executive order, or did Congress pass the
Executive
law?
order.
Okay.
Now, well, it was approved or whatever. Now, Tom, with what'd you say the last one was? Alien Force. Wherever we go, though, Tom, we are the aliens. So I could totally see where JP is coming with that. All right, JP, what else? Space Troopers. That was Hunter was in the Super Troopers.
Super Troopers, yeah.
I like that. That's the name of the branch. The Space Force. You
How
got to
about
call
the space?
you got to call the people.
enforcers?
What are the guys?
Enforcers.
Astronauts,
Enforcers.
Rangers. The Pioneers isn't too bad,
The
JP.
Buzz Lightyears. Nice.
The light years,
The Buzz Lightyears.
buzzes, whatever. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, JP, I think that's how we're going to wrap up the show today. I want to thank everybody for watching and listening on Facebook and YouTube today. Thanks for listening on WCSL 1590 AM, 92.3 FM. As always, everyone have a good weekend. Tonight, Charlotte Hornets basketball hosting the Dallas Mavericks. Hunter and Tom are going to be there covering the game, tweeting and getting pictures and talking to some of the players. Tom's going to get introduced to the fun life of that. Get ready to be elbowed by other reporters.
Absolutely. You're gonna try and talk, and someone's gonna cut you off so fast.
This is kind of like job shadowing. I just want you to know that, Hunter. This is my job shadowing
All right.
you tonight.
Oh,
All right, so what you need to do, Tom, is make sure you got one question ready, or do you think you got one question for someone when you go down in there? And so when they're all asking questions, just be ready as soon as you hear a break in the talk. Just as soon as you, hey, Luca, I got this. Somebody get a question
hey,
from
Luca,
Luca.
what's your favorite flavor of Pop-Tart?
Hunter,
Yeah,
this
that's
is what I
something
want.
crazy.
This is what I want you to ask Luca Doncic. Luca, last year when you came in here for the All-Star game,
This is too many words. You gotta text it to me.
KTC asked
Yeah.
you about playing one-on-one with Dirk and having him in a three-point contest. Are you glad to be back in Charlotte? Something to that nature.
Okay.
Do you wish Dirk was still here? Blah, blah, blah. Just something to that
Do
nature
you
about
wish
Dirk
was
last year.
still here?
Yeah.
No, because I rule.
All right, guys. But we'll be back next week on KTCBroadcasting.com.